Hey guys, welcome to Green Bean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku tamed Digimon and fell for Melissa? This story is The Digital Hero. Lost Legends by Luis CJ 888. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button, as your one like motivates me to bring more stories, and subscribe the channel if you are new so you won't miss our latest videos. Destruction, ruins, death, it's all that's left. Izuku, in his Agunimon form, gets up from the ground. His breathing is heavy, he's tired, one of his hands is stopping the bleeding on his chest. Izuku's gaze focuses on what's in front of him. Izuku looks back, he can see Shinso, Shoto, Melissa and Kaminari on the ground behind him, totally defeated. There are other people as well. Izuku grunts at the pain of his wound, looks down at his fist full of blood, his blood. Izuku looks ahead, there is a gigantic Digimon destroying everything in its path. Said Digimon is a seven-legged beast with one eye on each, and has an eighth eye on its head. There is a sword stuck in each of its legs. Like Lucimon Satan mode, it wears the crowns of the seven deadly sins on its head. Izuku looks at his fist one more time, clenching it hard. Using what little strength he has left, Izuku goes and stands in front of the Digimon. The Digimon roars at him while Izuku closes his eyes for a second. Izuku opens his eyes showing determination. Izuku takes out his D-scan. Ancient Spirit Evolution. Izuku screams and transforms into Suzunuman. Izuku summons Orochi as the Digimon roars at him again. They both look at each other and charge at each other, ready to continue fighting. Yeah, that's how things are now. But before seeing how it all ends, you should know what happened to get us here. Well, I guess I can tell you what happened. 1 year after Lucimon's defeat. Hey, hurry up and bring them. One guy said to another who was carrying 2 cages. All good. The second guy puts the cages on the ground. Yes, with this we already have everything, right? The first guy uncovers the cages and sees what they contain. They are 2 baby-level Digimon. Yes, with this we meet the required amount. The guy gets up and opens the curtains behind them, revealing several more cages with baby-level Digimon inside. The client pays very well for this. So this is where you hide, huh? A voice said. The 2 guys turn to look in the direction of the voice and see a boy. Said boy has short undercut green hair, green eyes and 4 diamond-shaped freckles on each cheek. Said boy is dressed in red tennis shoes, black pants, a green shirt, and a red jacket. Said jacket has the symbol of the digital fire element on the back. This boy is Izuku Midoriya, aka the Digital Hero, Agni. Age: 18. Quirk: none. Digimon partner: none. He possesses the digital spirits of fire. Student from UA High. Hero Course Class 3A. Izuku, after the defeat of Lucimon, has changed. There is no longer any sign of that nervous and shy boy. Now he has matured. Physically he has grown from being one of the shortest in his class to being among the tallest. He is still the leader of the chosen ones, although it has been a long time since they have worked as a team as such. The others still consider him the leader and the strongest among them. Couldn't you choose a nicer place to do your things? Izuku asked sarcastically. Don't get involved in other people's business, kid, the first guy said while transforming his hand into a sword. Boss, I don't think it's good to try to confront the boy, the second guy said. Why, he's just a boy, the first guy said. You don't know who he is. He is, the other guy said, but Izuku interrupted him. Don't worry, I prefer to show you who I am, Izuku said as he rolled up the right sleeve of his jacket, thus revealing a device on his forearm. Opening the cover of the device reveals that it is a touch screen. D-terminal. Connected. Agunimon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit Evolution. Izuku slides his ring and middle finger on the screen and then extends his arm to the side and is then surrounded by data. Inside the data, Izuku's clothes were stored inside the D-terminal. Izuku points the D-terminal forward and it projects a screen showing Agunimon. The screen explodes in a blur of data that covers Izuku and transforms him into Agunimon. Then on his right shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one he already had. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Izuku there was Agunimon. However, Agunimon was strange, different. Although Agunimon at first glance looks the same as always, now his suit under his armor, previously black, is now dark green. His eyes are now green. the same as Izuku's, and his hair, which previously reached his back, now it barely reaches his shoulders. His hair is still yellow but the glow, previously red, is now green. Finally, the right shoulder pad was replaced with another gray one with the symbol of the Chosen Ones on it. The symbol of the Chosen Ones is a creation of their own. It is represented by the 6 symbols of the elements of each one. In the case of Izuku, the symbol of fire is in the center and surrounding it in a circle are the other 5 ones but smaller. And now is when you realize who I am, Izuku said with a smile. The Digital Hero. The Lost Legends Opening. Song. Boruto Opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 Chosen Ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misereret. It is seen when the 6 Chosen Ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui Iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunamonk form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the Chosen Ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the Chosen Ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 Chosen Ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya. Kakugo wa I Desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Kor Kara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops, the background behind her lights up revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed. Akari wo I ni Mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi Janane da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toitakaru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paildramon form, attacks Kishibe but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luiman form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Danake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I Desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Kor Kara. Shota, a blue-haired girl and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Interestingly, an Eisman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishib appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Both guys stare at Izuku. The first guy with confusion and the second with fear. Really? No reaction. Izuku asks the first guy. I do not care who you are. Die. The guy said as he attacked Izuku with his hand turned into a sword. Seriously, I wish you'd recognized me. Izuku said as he stopped the sword with his left hand without taking damage, because you would make my job easier. Pyro Punch. Izuku hits the guy with a strong fire punch, rendering him unconscious with just that blow. Izuku looks at the other guy. And now is when you give up, Izuku said. The guy quickly takes one of the cages and runs out of the building so that a pair of wings sprout from his back and takes flight. Izuku follows him and points his right wrist at the guy but sees something that makes him stop. I won't need to intervene, Izuku thought as he turns around and goes towards the Digimon cages but not without first making sure that the first guy is unconscious. The second guy sees how Izuku turns around and thinks he let him go. I can't believe it, he let me go, but then he receives a kick in the face from someone else. Izuku leaves the building dragging the guy he knocked out. At that moment the digital police arrive. Digital Police. Organization that was founded after some Digimon began to live in the human world. They are in charge of supervising crimes related to Digimon and acting accordingly, is made up of humans and Digimon. Just in time, gentlemen, there are several cages with Digimon trapped inside, Izuku said. Understood, Agni. The chief said. We will ensure that they return to the digital world safely. Izuku nods at the moment of also handing over the criminal to the authorities. It is that moment. Next to him, Yukio lands. Good job, every day you seem more professional than me, Yukio said. Ryuko Tatsuma aka Yukio. After the defeat of Lucimon, Izuku continued working under Yukio. Thanks to her participation in both wars, Yukio climbed quite a few places in the top, now being Japan's number 5 hero. Yukio's quirk has also improved. Now she is able to do a partial transformation, remaining human size, but adopting dragon aspects such as a tail, wings, scales and claws. Her right arm is now a prosthetic one which can grow to adjust to her dragon form. Izuku was going to answer, but then someone lands next to him, Yukio, and he turned to look at her. Melissa was the one who landed, carrying the cage with the Digimon in her hand and the unconscious criminal in the other. Melissa is in her Kazimon form but, like Izuku, this form is different than it used to be. The first thing to notice is that under her clothes, she now has a black full-body suit, now no longer leaving her skin exposed. On the other hand, her hair is now blonde and stylized to look more like Melissa's. Finally, her right shoulder pad is the same one that Izuku has, only that Melissa has the symbol of the wind element in the center surrounded by the other 5. Melissa hands the cage and the criminal over to the authorities and then heads to Izuku and Yukio. So, this is it, right? She asked. At the moment, we managed to find the meeting point, but we still have no idea who the client is, Yukio said. I don't think these guys know anything, even they had no idea who their employer was, Izuku said. Well, at least we managed to capture a couple more criminals, Melissa said. Exactly, good job, both of you, Yukio said. This is all for today, you can return to UA. Izuku and Melissa nod and return to their human form. Another day at the office, I guess, Melissa said. Melissa Shield aka the Wind Hero, Sylph. Age: 18. Quirk: none. Digimon partner: none. She possesses the digital spirits of wind. Student from UA High. Hero Course Class 3A. Like Izuku, Melissa's appearance has also changed. Melissa has become the definition of a beautiful woman. She has grown taller. Although she is no longer taller than Izuku, she is the second tallest girl in her class, only below Momo. Her hair, which previously reached her hips, is now shorter, barely reaching her elbows, and her style is now straight instead of wavy. Melissa's clothes have also changed. She now wears red boots, a pair of black stockings that reach above her knees, a black skirt, and a white t-shirt. Over the t-shirt she has a jacket similar to Izuku's. Only hers is purple and in the back has the symbol of the digital element of wind. To avoid perverts, she has shorts under her skirt. Okay, shall we go? Izuku asks Melissa as he extends his hand to her. Melissa smiles and shakes her head and then begins to walk. Let's go, Romeo, she said. Izuku smiles and quickly goes to his side and they both go in the direction of the UQ agency to change into their school uniform and then return to UA. 3A dorms. The dorms are one of the things that have changed. Although the building remains the same, it now has a small parking lot next to it. This is because some of the class already have a vehicle. Speaking of vehicles, a motorcycle parks in the parking lot. It is Izuku's motorcycle, which was a gift from his mother. Izuku drives while having Melissa sitting behind him. After parking, they both continue on their way to the building, but halfway there they cross paths with someone they know. Hey, it's Hitoshi, Izuku said. Hitoshi Shinso, another of the chosen ones, turns around and smiles when he sees his teammates and friends. Hi. Shinso waves at them. Hitoshi Shinso aka the Light Hero, Wolf. Age: 18. Quirk: brainwashing, formerly Digimon partner: none. He possesses the digital spirits of light. Student from UA High, Hero Course Class 3A. Shinso, unlike Izuku and Melissa, has not changed much in terms of appearance. Besides growing in height, he remains practically the same as a year ago, except that his facial expression no longer denotes tiredness like before. You're back, how was it? Shinso asked. More of the same. More people trying to sell Digimon, Izuku said. Oh really? You won't believe it, but me too, Shinso said. How is it possible? There are more and more people trying to sell Digimon despite all the existing security, Melissa said. And more importantly, who are the groups behind this? I think it's not some groups, Izuku said. I think it's only one person, or at least only one group. What makes you think that? Melissa asked. I'm not saying it. Nezu says it. Izuku said. I will explain it to when we are with Shoto and Denki. It would be better to explain it to everyone. Maybe Shoto can contact Toya if he is not busy. Alright, then let's not waste time, Shinso said. Let's get inside. Without further ado, the trio continues walking until they enter the dorms. When Izuku entered the common room, he almost tripped because someone passed between his legs. Although rather, instead of someone, it was a pair of. Oh, I'm sorry. They were a pair of Digimon. The first one is a light pink humanoid Digimon with gray eyes. Its fingers are a gradient of dark violet to lime green in color. Its outfit consists of a black sleeveless leotard with magenta and black striped leggings that go all the way to her feet. It also wears a medium blue jellyfish-like hat that has countless lime green tipped tentacles protruding from it, and a pink target-like symbol on the front. This Digimon is a Jellymon. The other is a blue insectoid Digimon, green eyes, a horn on its forehead and a yellow scarf on its neck. This Digimon is a Kokabuteramon. Don't worry, Izuku said. And now you might wonder, why are there Digimon in the dorms? Well, after the development of the Digimon Tamer project, some UA students were selected to have a Digimon partner. Izuku smiles. Don't worry, go on with your thing, he said. Jellymon and Kokabuteramon smile and head to the common room of the dorms, going with their human partners. Jellymon climbs on top of the head of a pink-skinned girl, Mina Ashido. Mina Ashido aka Pinky. Age: 18. Quirk: Acid. Digimon partner: Jellymon. Student from UA High, Hero Course Class 3A. For his part, Kokabuteramon climbs onto the shoulder of a girl with short purple hair, Kyoka Jiro. Kyoka Jiro aka Earphone Jack. Age: 18. Quirk: Earphone Jack. Digimon partner: Kokabuteramon. Student from UA High, Hero Course Class 3A. Hey, Hitoshi-kun, Deku-kun, Melissa-chan, you're back, a voice said. The three turn to look and are greeted by their classmate, Ochako Uraraka, who is being accompanied by her Digimon partner, Lunamon. Ochako Uraraka aka Uravity. Age: 18. Quirk: Zero Gravity. Digimon partner: Lunamon. Student from UA High, Hero Course Class 3A. Hitoshi smiles and hugs Uraraka, and then everyone goes to sit on the couches with the others. So you're back, how did it go? Kyoka asked. You know, more problems with Digimon dealers. Izuku said. By the way, are Shoto and Denki back? Nope, Mina said. They are still out. Oh well, I guess they're still busy. Izuku said. In that case we will have to wait. I see they're back, Iida said as he is accompanied by an anthropomorphic blue dog-like Digimon who has a red ribbon tied around his head covering some sort of yellow mark. He wears a pair of boxing gloves. Tenya Iida aka Ingenium. Age. 18. Quirk. Engine. Digimon partner. Gaomon. Student from UA High. Hero Course Class 3A. Tenya. Gaomon, how are you? Melissa asked. We are fine, thanks for asking. How was it for you? Iida said. Nothing spectacular. We're just waiting for Shoto and Denki. I think we found a clue to stop the Digimon dealers, Izuku said. I see. I guess Shoto and Denki are still out, Iida said. You know, when duty calls, Izuku said. I wonder what they are doing right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Shoto, accompanied by Endeavor and Agumon, are seeing a warehouse in the distance that seems abandoned. Is this the place? Shoto asks, looking at the warehouse in the distance. According to reports, yes, Endeavor said. What are we waiting for? Let's do it, Agumon said. Is this the place? Shoto asks, looking at the warehouse in the distance. Like the others, Shoto has changed. His hair has grown, now reaching his shoulders, although he usually has it tied in a ponytail. His suit is also different. He is dressed in black boots, black pants, a red shirt, and a white jacket. Said jacket has the symbol of the digital ice element on the back. On his right arm he has his D-terminal. Shoto Todoroki aka Frost. Age. 18. Quirk. Absolute Zero, formerly. Digimon partner. None. He possesses the digital spirits of ice. Student from UA High. Hero Course Class 3A. According to reports, yes, Endeavor said. Enji Todoroki aka Endeavor. Age. 47. Quirk. Hellflame. Digimon partner. Agumon. After the defeat of Lucimon, Endeavor continued with his position as Japan's #1 hero, but now he has his Digimon partner, Agumon, who is now part of Endeavor's image. What are we waiting for? Let's do it, Agumon said. Don't worry Agumon, you already know how this is, let's not rush, Endeavor said. They may be simple thugs, but we don't have to rush, let's approach them quietly. Understood. Agumon said, climbing onto Endeavor's shoulder. Roger that. Shoto said while opening the cover of the D-terminal. D-terminal connected. Paildramon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit evolution. Shoto slides his ring and middle finger on the screen and then extends his arm to the side and is then surrounded by data. Inside the data, Shoto's clothes were stored inside the D-terminal. Shoto points the D-terminal forward and it projects a screen showing Paildramon. The screen explodes in a blur of data that covers Shoto and transforms him into Paildramon. Then on his right shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one he already had. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Shoto there was Paildramon. However, Paildramon, as the other human spirits, was strange, different. Of all of them, Paildramon is the one that had the most radical change. He now has a more humanoid appearance, although he is still a dragon. His fur is now half white and half red. His right eye is gray while the left is blue. Lastly, his height is also greater, being the same height as Agunimon. Like the other chosen ones, his right shoulder pad is different, having the symbol of the chosen ones on it, but his has the symbol of ice in the center being surrounded by the other 5. I'm ready, Shoto said. A shame Toya couldn't join us. He and Vernon are taking care of business on the other side of the country, Endeavor said. So for now it's us, come on, let's get closer. Without further ado, father and son begin to fly in the direction of the warehouse. The Digital Hero. The Lost Legends opening. Song. Boruto opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misererit. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui Iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunamonk form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru Ka, the rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Habe made Mitakut, that someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu, the 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya. Kakugo wa I Desho Ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Kor Kara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops, the background behind her lights up, revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed. Akari wo I ni Mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero Ka Ichi Janain Da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this, Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando Mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form, also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe, but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands, which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paledramon form, attacks Kishibe, but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luiman form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Danake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I Desho Ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Kor Kara. Shota, a blue-haired girl and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Interestingly, an Iseman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Shoto and Endeavor land near the warehouse silently. Okay, we're here, now what? Shoto asked. Now is when we act hastily, Endeavor said, and then destroyed the wall of the warehouse with a burst of fire. Alright, the heroes have arrived. Inside the warehouse there are a total of 3 people and 2 Digimon who stare at Endeavor. After a few seconds of silence, 2 of these people take out a Digivide and make the 2 Digimon evolve. the Digimon becomes a Greymon Blue and an Airdramon. They're hackers, Shoto said. I can tell. Go Agumon, Endeavor said, taking his D-Buster and making Agumon Digivolve. Agumon Digivolve to. Agumon digivolves into Geogreymon. Geo-Greymon. Both Greymon collide and begin to struggle. Meanwhile, Shoto faces off against the Airdramon. 3 against 1. I like those odds, Endeavor said as he faced the 3 humans. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a group of people finish loading a truck with Digimon cages. Alright, it's ready, go ahead, one of them said as he climbed into the passenger's seat. Take me to the place indicated on the map. Yes sir, the other guy said as the doors of the place open. Once opened, the truck leaves. This is too easy. I told you. At that point the driver notices that there is something on the road, or rather someone. I'm sorry but this is where you end up, Denki said. Denki Kaminari aka Chargebolt. Age. 18. Quirk. Electrification, formerly. Digimon partner. None. He possesses the digital spirits of thunder. Student from UA High. Hero course class 3A. Denki, like the others, has changed physically. He has grown in height, his hair is now shorter. Like the other chosen ones, his suit has changed. He is dressed in black boots, black pants, a blue shirt, and a yellow jacket. Said jacket has the symbol of the digital thunder element on the back. Who is that? The driver asked. Who cares? Run over him, the other guy said. Seeing that the truck doesn't stop, Kaminari smiles and then opens the cover of the D-terminal. D-terminal connected. Beetlemon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit evolution. Denki slides his ring and middle finger on the screen and then extends his arm to the side and is then surrounded by data. Inside the data, Denki's clothes were stored inside the D-terminal. Denki points the D-terminal forward and it projects a screen showing Beetlemon. The screen explodes in a blur of data that covers Denki and transforms him into Beetlemon. Then on his left shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one he already had. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Denki there was Beetlemon. However, Beetlemon, as the other human spirits, was different. Although Beetlemon at first glance appears unchanged, now his eyes are yellow. His helmet no longer covers his entire head. Now yellow hair with a black lightning-shaped mark emerges from above, resembling Denki's hair in both color and color. In addition to that, on his wrists he no longer has the plus and symbols since they were replaced by lightning symbols. Finally, throughout his armor there are several white lightning patterns throughout the armor. Like his friends, his left shoulder pad is different, having the symbol of the chosen ones on it, but his has the symbol of thunder in the center being surrounded by the other 5. What the? The driver didn't finish speaking as Denki easily stopped the truck with his hands. I'm sorry but you're not going anywhere, Denki said. At that, the driver and co-pilot get out of the truck and try to attack Denki, but then 2 people appear and stop the attacks. Don't worry, don't make this more difficult, Fat Gum said, catching the driver in his body fat. Teishiro Toyomatsu aka Fat Gum. Age. 30. Quirk. Fat absorption. Digimon partner. None. Following the defeat of Lucimon and Fat Gum's participation in both wars, Fat Gum has enjoyed a large increase in popularity, finally being now Japan's number 10 hero. Give up now and save us trouble, Kirishima said while tackling the co-pilot. Eijiro Kurashika aka Red Riot. Age. 18. Quirk. Hardening. Digimon partner. None. Hero course class 3A. We have them. Chargebolt take care of the truck's charge, Fat Gum said. Right. Denki said, heading to the back of the truck, but when he opens the door he is greeted by a punch that makes him retreat. From the back of the truck comes a guy with 4 arms covered in diamonds. What's going on here? The guy said. It seems we have a little problem. Yes, but it will be resolved soon, Denki said, attacking the guy with a punch, but the guy covers himself with his arms. Back with Endeavor, the hero dodges the attack of one of the 3 guys, then attacks another that tried to attack him with a fireball, sending him flying. Come on, is this all you can do? Endeavor said as he kicks the 3rd guy. Meanwhile, Geo-Greymon and Greymon Blue continue to struggle. Why are you helping these hackers? Geo-Greymon asked. Don't you see that they are just using you as a tool? However, Greymon Blue does not respond, he just roars. Greymon quickly grabs Greymon and throws him to the ground. It seems that you were reduced to a feral state, Greymon said. Quickly, Greymon Blue gets up and charges at Greymon. Mega Flame. Quickly, Greymon attacks by shooting a fireball from his mouth which hits Greymon Blue horn imbecile. He then impales Greymon Blue against the building with his horns. Greymon Blue lets out one last roar before exploding into data. On the other hand, Airdramon begins to spin in the air to try to attack Shoto, but he easily dodges him. His attacks are not coordinated, he only attacks to attack, he does not think about how to attack. Shoto thought as he dodged another attack from Airdramon, then covered his claws with ice claws. Airdramon roars upon receiving the attack, remaining motionless in the air, which Shoto takes advantage of. To finish. Precipitation Breath. Shoto fires an ice beam from his mouth which freezes Airdramon. Ice Claws. After attacking it with his ice claws, Airdramon explodes into data. Finally, Endeavor defeats the third guy with a fire punch. With this we finish. Endeavor said. Let's pick up these guys and take them to the police. Hackers. Lately their numbers have increased. Shoto said. I don't like what they do to my kind. Agumon said already after having returned to his Agumon form. That wild state I always see when we face these guys. Don't worry, we'll stop them. Shoto said. Right. Agumon said. You can talk later, now help me. Endeavor said as he carries two of the guys. Agumon climbs onto Endeavor's shoulder while Shoto carries the third guy. Without further ado, the two fly away from the place. Back with Denki. He is defending himself from the guy's attacks. Die, the guy said as he attacks Denki with several punches. Denki doesn't defend himself against the blows. Okay, I'm bored now. Suddenly, Denki catches the guy's fist, and begins to surround his free fist with electricity. You've had your fun, now let's get this over with. Thunder Fist. Denki punches the guy in the face and then grabs him in his arms. Goodbye. Punishment Shock. Denki electrocutes the guy for a few seconds and then stops and the guy falls to the ground unconscious. You really like drama, Fat Gum said as he arrives next to Denki. It's to add emotion to things, Denki said. Anyway, let's take these cages down and free the Digimon, Fat Gum said. I'm already on it, Kirishima said as he took several cages out of the truck. Chargebolt helps Red Riot, I'll call the digital police, Fat Gum said. Right, Kaminari said. After a few minutes the digital police arrived and the Digimon were rescued. Good job, Riot, Chargebolt, Fat Gum said. Thanks, I don't like this at all. I can't believe there are people doing these things, Kirishima said. At that moment one of the rescued Digimon approached Kirishima. Said Digimon is a humanoid Digimon with a body made of gray rocks. It has yellow eyes and two rocks on its head that resemble bear ears. It has 3 fingers on each hand and 3 toes on each foot. Thank you very much for rescuing us, the Digimon said to Kirishima. Do not worry friend, that's what heroes are for, Kirishima said. You're so cool, I would like to go with you, the Digimon said. This takes Kirishima by surprise. Me, he said. Wow, thank you very much, the truth is I would love for you to come with me. Then it's decided, I will be your Digimon partner. The Digimon said. I'm Gotsuman by the way. What? Kirishima said. Cool, congratulations bro, it looks like you now have a Digimon partner. Denki said after returning to his human form. Well, the truth is that I was a little jealous of Ishido, Jiro, Uraraka and Iida, Kirishima said. Very good. I accept you as a partner. Get ready because we will become very strong together. Yes. Gotsuman said high-fiving Kirishima who had a Digivice appear on his belt. Alright. Kirishima said. 3A dorms. After another day dealing with hackers, Shoto finally returns to the dorms. On his way he crosses paths with Denki and Kirishima. Denki, Jiro, I see you're back too. Just then Shoto notices Gotsuman next to Kirishima. And this is. It's Gotsuman, my new Digimon partner. Kirishima said. Oh. So you managed to become a partner with a Digimon, that seems good to me, Shoto said. Yes, now we have to tell others, Denki said and then the 3 of them enter the dorms. We are back, Denki said opening the door, Shoto and Kirishima enter next to him. And we have a new member for the class. Hey! Izuku said greeting. Next to him there were also other classmates, among them Mina who hugged Shoto when he arrived. What do you mean by a new member? Well, Denki said and then looked at Kirishima. Kirishima smiles and then steps away to reveal Gotsumon. I present to you Gotsumon. My Digimon partner, he said. Another Digimon, a new member of the family, Jellymon said as she along with Lunamon and Kokabuteramon approached Gotsumon. Welcome. You will love living here. Yes, these people are very kind and we have the chosen ones who defeated Lucimon living with us, Lunamon said. Just then Gaomon and Iida approach. Welcome Gotsumon, from now on you are part of our family, Gaomon said. I'm glad that another of us has a Digimon partner, but I must remind you that it is a very big responsibility, Iida said. Don't worry Tenya, I'm ready, Kirishima said. Gotsumon and I will form an incredible team like you. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm also happy that another Digimon is joining us, Izuku said. Mina, Ochako, Tenya and Kyoka may have more time with their Digimon partners, but I'm sure you'll do well. Thanks bro, Kirishima said. And for you Gotsumon, Izuku said crouching down to Gotsumon's height. As leader and representative of the chosen ones as well as class president, I welcome you to class 3A. Thanks. Gotsumon said. So, new member, huh? Jiro said approaching Denki. What, not even a welcome kiss? Denki jokingly asked to his girlfriend. Jiro just rolls her eyes. Now that we've finished this matter. Denki, Shoto, we were waiting for you, Izuku said. What is it? Shoto asked. Nezu wants to talk to us. I was hoping you could contact Toya too. Before Izuku could finish speaking, the D terminals began to ring. It seems I'm late in telling you. Nezu needs us. We haven't even arrived and we already have to leave again, Denki said. Well, that's what it's like to be a chosen one, Izuku said. Come on, let's change into our suits and go see what Nezu needs. What would Nezu want? Kaminari said. Izuku, you know what Nezu wants to talk about, right? Shinso asked. Like the others, Shinso is dressed in his suit which consists of purple boots, black pants, a purple shirt, and a light blue jacket. Said jacket has the symbol of the digital light element on the back. More or less, I know it has to do with Digimon trafficking, Izuku said. I think he has a clue to find the main client behind this. Do you have any idea who could be behind it? Shoto asked. Not really, Izuku said. It can be anyone. What I'm most interested in knowing is why this person or group needs so many Digimon, Melissa said. Obviously, it is important to know who is behind all this, but aren't you curious to know what all this is for? Now that you mention it, yeah, it's intriguing, Shinso said. Well, soon we will know more about all this. We have arrived, Izuku said opening the door to the principal's office. In the middle of the room, which has been expanded from what it was before, is Nezu, now without the need to camouflage himself anymore, sitting at his desk while looking at something on his computer. Hearing the door open, Nezu smiles as he sees the chosen ones enter. Hello, chosen ones, he said. Nezu, you wanted to see us, don't you? Izuku asked. The Digital Hero, The Lost Legends opening. Song. Boruto opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misererit. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunamonk form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Korkara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops, the background behind her lights up, revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed. Akari wo I ni mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi janain da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this, Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form, also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe, but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands, which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paledramon form, attacks Kishibe, but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luiman form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Denake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I Desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Korkara. Shota, a blue-haired girl and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Interestingly, an Iseman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Nezu looks at the chosen ones in front of him and smiles. Well, of course. He said. I know you just got back, but this information is promising. Izuku said it's about the Digimon trafficking network. Shinso said. Yes, but before, Todoroki-kun, do you think Toya could join us for this? Nezu asked. I'll try. Shoto said and then took out his phone and dialed his brother. In the meantime, tell me, what you think of the new D-terminals? Nezu asked. They are very useful. Izuku said. Yes, thanks to Kamashiro now you don't need to carry your D-scan everywhere. The D-terminal connects to it through digital waves, so no matter where you are, you can always transform. Nezu said. Speaking of transformations, do you have any idea why our human spirits look different? Denki asked. I have a theory. Nezu said. And it has to do with how long you have been using them. Melissa said. Are you suggesting that our prolonged use of human spirits caused them to alter their appearance? Yes, after the defeat of Lucimon you have not had the need to use your other spirits. There have been rare occasions when you have used the beast spirits, but mainly you have only used the human spirits. Nezu said. It's true. Since Lucimon was defeated I don't remember using Aldemon again, let alone Kaiser Greymon or Suzunuman, Izuku said. Same here. Shinso said. I believe that the new appearance of your human spirits is a combination of them and you. You have stopped seeing them as extra powers and now see them as part of you, therefore they have adapted to look more like you, Nezu said. Makes sense. I guess that explains that too. Izuku snaps his fingers and a small flame appears in his hand. The flame is small and would only work as a torch. Wow, that's new. Denki said. Since when can you do that? Shinso asked. Since this morning. That's why I waited to meet on Nezu to show it, Izuku said. If Nezu's theory is true, then that means we may gain some aspects of our transformations, Melissa said. In Izuku's case he obtained the ability to control fire. That's exactly what I was thinking, Nezu said. Well, for now I can only do this, but maybe in the future I can use it to fight without transforming, Izuku said. Cool, Denki said. Perfect. Now, Todoroki-kun, what was your brother's response? Nezu asked. He is still working, but he has time if the meeting is quick, Shoto said. He will connect through the holotransmitter. Perfect. Nezu said, pressing some buttons, and suddenly a machine on the wall turned on and projected Toya's hologram. Nezu said, pressing some buttons, and suddenly a machine on the wall turned on and projected Toya's hologram. Toya, like the others, has a suit. Although similar to that of the other chosen ones, his is somewhat different. Toya wears a white t-shirt, black pants, black boots, a black belt with the head of a golden sphinx as a buckle, and a purple leather trench coat. Said trench coat has the symbol of digital darkness on the back. Unlike the other chosen ones, he has his D-terminal on his left arm instead of the right. So, what is it? Toya asked. We have information about Digimon traffic, Nezu said. I think I have the location of one of their main bases. I see. That's good, but make it quick, there are still matters to resolve here and Vernon is yelling at me to hurry up. I'll do it quickly, Nezu said, and then pressed a button and showed a hologram of a 3D map. A few days ago I received an anonymous email that gave me an address. Anonymous. Are we sure we can trust that? Shinso asked. Don't worry, I have confirmed that the source is legitimate and safe, Nezu said. Now, when going to that address we came across a small building. We looked for more about it and it is listed as a private building. However, when doing scans we detected a large source of digital energy in that place. Did you just recently detect it? Don't you have scanning equipment to scan for suspicious digital activity? Shoto asked. The place probably has some kind of inhibitor that allows it to go unnoticed by large-scale scans, Nezu said. What did you find? Izuku asked. We did not want to risk an approach without you, Nezu said, but now you are here. So you're saying that what we're going to do is go investigate that place? Izuku asked. Right, I'll give you the coordinates and you'll do what you do best, take down bad guys, Nezu said. Understood. Izuku said. I guess we won't be counting on you, Toya. Yeah, I'm sorry, I know it's my duty to help with things like this, but if I leave here. We understand. Don't worry, I just want you to be aware of the situation. Any discovery we will let you know, Nezu said. Understood. Alright, if that's all I'm leaving, good luck guys, Night Lion out. Toya said and then disconnected. Alright, we have our mission, it's time to go. Izuku said and then received the coordinates in his D-terminal. Coordinates received, let's move. Without further ado, the five leave for the given location. The night is calm and silent, but that silence is interrupted by a motorcycle and a car. Izuku and Melissa are riding on the motorcycle. Izuku is driving while Melissa is the co-pilot. Meanwhile in the car are Shoto, who owns the car and is driving, Shinso, in the co-pilot seat, and Denki, in the rear seats. How much left? Shoto asks through the earpiece. We are close, Izuku said. We will park nearby and walk the rest of the way. We don't want to attract attention with the sound of the engines. Understood. Shoto said. Man, this place is pretty isolated from the rest of the city. What are these people up to? Denki said. That's what we'll find out, Izuku said. Why do these kind of people always choose such ugly places for their operations? Melissa said. Why do these types of people always choose such ugly places for their operations? Shinso said. I know, It's so typical and obvious that I don't know why no one investigates these places, Melissa said. That's actually a good point, Denki said. We're close, let's park here, Izuku said as he turns into an alley and parks in it. Shoto parks outside the alley. The five begin their way to their destination. After walking for a few minutes they arrive at what looks like a warehouse. So, this is the place, Denki said. Yes, Izuku said as he uses his D-terminal to scan the place. Nezu was right, there is a large amount of digital energy in this place. It seems to be gathering in the center of the building. It's a lot of energy. I have a bad feeling, Shinso said. Then we have to stop them, Izuku said. Melissa, Hitoshi, go to the right. Shoto, Denki, you go to the left. Try to find a way to enter without attracting attention. I will search this area. What exactly are we looking for? Denki asked. Alternate entrances other than the main one, Izuku said. We have to try to be stealthier. We don't want to repeat what happened in Kansai. Right, Denki said. All right, move out, Izuku ordered and the five of them started to move. Melissa and Shinso head to the right of the building, Denki and Shoto to the left. Meanwhile Izuku goes down the small hill to head towards the building. Izuku uses his D-terminal again to detect digital energies. It's too much energy. I have to get in no matter what, Izuku thought as he looked around until he noticed a hatch for the ventilation system. Bingo. With ease Izuku climbs the wall and opens the ventilation hatch and enters. Alright, let's go where this takes us. Izuku continues his way, crawling through the ventilation as quietly as possible. After a couple of minutes Izuku's D-terminal begins to ring slightly. Yes, he asked. Izuku, we found the back entrance, Shinso said from the D-terminal's communicator. Is there any guard? Izuku asked. Not for the moment, Shinso said. We will proceed with caution. Understood, Izuku said. Izuku, we found the main entrance, Shoto said from the communicator. Are there any guards? Izuku asked. Yes, but there is something interesting, Shoto said. Denki had a hunch and we scanned the guards. They're Digimon in disguise. Digimon? Izuku wondered. That changes things. What do we do? Shoto asked. Keep a low profile and try to find another entrance, Izuku said. Understood, Shoto said. Alright, I have to keep moving, Izuku said as he continues to move. After more minutes of crawling, Izuku reaches another trapdoor through which he can see what is in the other side. On the other side there is a strange machine connected to another. In the first machine there is a sword inside a tube. On the other hand, the second machine has several straps to keep someone, or something, in place. Izuku focuses his attention on the sword in the tube. It somehow felt familiar. The sword is a sword with two blades on one side and its handle is golden. However, the most interesting thing is that the sword has 4 wings, 2 on the handle and 2 on the pommel. But the interesting thing is that the 2 right wings they are angelic and white and the 2 black ones are demonic and black. It looks familiar, but I don't know why, Izuku said and then took out his D-terminal and scanned the sword. This is the center of energy. All the energy converges on this sword. What are they up to? Izuku, we have problems, Shinso said. What is it? Guards, we have many guards and we can't advance, Shinso said. I see. Shoto, Denki, did you manage to get in? No, not yet, Shoto said. Alright, leave that, go to the main entrance and cause a distraction, Izuku said. With Shoto and Denki. Understood, Shoto said. Alright, you heard him, come on. Alright, Denki said. They both head to the entrance and walk towards the guards. Stop there, this is private property, one of the guards said. Hey, they're not, the other one said. Oh yes, yes we are. Ready Denki? Shoto asked. Hell yeah, Denki said. Evolution. They both shout using their D-terminals to transform into Paildramon and Beetlemon. *T. The chosen ones, one of the guards said. Quick. Sound the alarm. One of the 2 guards enters the building while the other leaves his human disguise to reveal his Digimon appearance and attempt to attack Shoto. You already know, I don't name which Digimon appear unless they are relevant. Shoto easily dodges the Digimon's attack so that Denki then hits him and sends him flying. And now is when the rest come, Denki said. And just as Denki said, several Digimon come out to face them. Let's get this over with, Shoto said. With Hitoshi and Melissa, we have enemies. A guard arrived and said, you stay here. You come with us. After this the guards left, leaving only one behind. Well, now there's only one left. Let's finish him off, Melissa said. No, I'll take care of him, you continue, Hitoshi said. You sure? Melissa asked. Yes, Hitoshi said, coming out of his hiding place to face the only guard. There are more of you here, the guard said as he takes off his human disguise, but not for long. Said Digimon has the appearance of a green humanoid lizard. He has purple pants, knives in his arms and a pair of swords which he carries on his back. This Digimon is a Dinohuman. Hitoshi smiles and lifts the cover of his D-terminal. D-terminal. Connected. Lobomon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit evolution. Hitoshi slides his ring and middle finger on the screen and then extends his arm to the side and is then surrounded by data. Inside the data, Hitoshi's clothes were stored inside the D-terminal. Hitoshi points the D-terminal forward and it projects a screen showing Lobomon. The screen explodes in a blur of data that covers Hitoshi and transforms him into Lobomon. Then on his left shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one he already had. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Hitoshi there was Lobomon. However, Lobomon, like the other spirits, was different. Lobomon still retains his armor. However, he now has many more purple details than before. His eyes and hair are now purple resembling Hitoshi's, and finally his scarf is now red. Hitoshi turns on his swords and blocks an attack from Dinohuman's swords. You want to fight? Hitoshi said. Let's fight. Hitoshi pushes Dinohuman away from the entrance. This is taken advantage of by Melissa, who sneaks to the entrance. Just then she feels something and jumps to the left, dodging the attack of a Digimon that fell from the ceiling. You have good reflexes. The Digimon said, it's a Yaxamon. Great. In the end, being stealthy was of no use, Melissa said while lifting the cover of her D-terminal. D-terminal. Connected. Kazimon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit evolution. Melissa slides her ring and middle finger on the screen and then extends her arm to the side and is then surrounded by data. Inside the data, Melissa's clothes were stored inside the D-terminal. Melissa points the D-terminal forward and it projects a screen showing Kazimon. The screen explodes in a blur of data that covers Melissa and transforms her into Kazimon. Then on her right shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one she already had. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Melissa there was Kazimon. Melissa quickly attacks Yaxamon with a kick, but he covers himself with the shields of his arms. Let's see if you know how to dance, Yaxamon said, attacking Melissa with his swords, but she dodges them by doing a backflip. Believe me, I know how to dance, Melissa said, dodging another attack from Yaxamon and counter-attacking with a kick to the Digimon's stomach. With Izuku. Izuku continues observing the machine. Then two Digimon enter the place while dragging a third rookie-level Digimon. What are they doing? Izuku thought. Is it safe to do this while we are being attacked? One of the Digimon asked. These are the boss's orders. The other one said. Let's hurry up and we'll finish sooner. The Digimon place the third one in the machine and tie him with the straps. Activate the extractor, one Digimon said. Then the machine activates and the tied Digimon begins to scream in pain. What are they doing? Izuku thought with anger. After a few seconds the bound Digimon explodes into data and the machine absorbs it, redirecting it towards the sword which absorbs the data. Alright, bring on the next one. One of the Digimon said while the second brings another rookie-level Digimon and ties it to the machine. Unable to allow it, Izuku kicks open the vent cover and steps out to face the two Digimon. I won't allow it, Izuku said while preparing his D-terminal. Evolution. Izuku transforms into a Gunimon and with a double punch of fire destroys both Digimon quickly. Without wasting time Izuku frees the captured Digimon. Are you okay? He asked. Why yeah, but there are more Digimon trapped here, the Digimon said. You know where they are? Izuku asks and the Digimon nods. In that case take me there. I'm going to get all of you out of here. Izuku begins to follow the Digimon. However, he does not realize that a Digimon has arrived at the place. Said Digimon has the appearance of a yellow ape with a bone tied to its back. This Digimon is an A Peman. A Peman watches as Izuku leaves, then turns towards the machine, breaks the glass, and takes the sword and then follows Izuku. It's time to test this thing, A Peman said. For many people Kishib is a strange woman, mainly because of her peculiar personality as well as her way of acting. For many, Rai is someone who is stupid and innocent, someone who doesn't quite understand what she does, but for those who take the time to get to know her, they will know that she is an overly intelligent woman, something she hides under her facade as a carefree and innocent woman. At this moment Rai is drinking tea while looking at a screen. Kishibe, Akemi Suedo said entering the room where Rai is. We have a problem. Oh, Rai said. And what problem do we have? The chosen ones. They found our experimentation place. Suedo said in a worried tone but is surprised when noticing that Rai isn't worried. Of course they found it, Rai said. At the end of the day, I was the one who leaked the information to the UA principal. What? Why would you do that? Suedo asked. It's simple silly. Rai said. We need to test our experiment, don't we? You took too much risk by doing that, Suedo said. They could have discovered you. You know very well that I am smarter than I appear, Rai said. I filtered the information anonymously, as if it were a rumor. Still, I think attracting the chosen ones is a bad idea, Suedo said. The experiments are for the purpose of facing them, why not try it directly, Rai said. Besides, we won't lose anything. Very well, Suedo said. Take a sit, Rai said. Let's see how this ends. The Digital Hero. The Lost Legends Opening. Song. Boruto Opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misereret. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunamonk form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya. Kakugo wa I Desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Korkara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops the background behind her lights up revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed. Akari wo I ni Mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi Janain da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this Kishibe smiles, the egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paledramon form, attacks Kishibe but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Lucimon form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora de Nake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I Desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Korkara. Shota, a blue-haired girl and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Interestingly, an Iseman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Hitoshi continues his fight against Donnie Hyuman. He tries to attack him with his knives but Hitoshi easily defends himself with his swords and blocks all of Dino Hyuman's attacks. Pretty easy. His attacks are very predictable, Hitoshi thought. As expected from a chosen one. You are strong but I am stronger, Dino Hyuman said as he takes the giant dagger from his back. Dino Slash. Dino Hyuman attacks Hitoshi with his giant dagger but Hitoshi is unfazed and takes his swords and cuts Dino Hyuman's dagger in half. What the? I'm sorry, but no sword is a match for my light swords, Hitoshi said as he joins his 2 swords into one. There is nothing my swords cannot cut. Hitoshi moves at high speed and with a single slash slices Dino Hyuman in half. 2 victors. After the attack Dino Hyuman explodes into data. Too easy. Elsewhere Melissa does several backflips while dodging Yaxamon's sword slashes. Stay still, Yaxamon said. Alright. Melissa said, stopping and allowing Yaxamon to attack her, but she quickly destroys the wooden sword with a strong kick. That doesn't mean I'll let myself get killed either. You dare, Yaxamon said while attacking Melissa with his other sword. Melissa quickly ducks to avoid the attack and then counterattacks with a kick from which Yaxamon tries to protect himself with his wooden shields in his arms. The kick was so strong that it not only broke Yaxamon's wooden shields, but also caused Yaxamon to go through a window and fly out of the building. How much strength! Their powers are greater than estimated. Yaxamon falls to the ground and watches as Melissa positions herself above him. I'm sorry but we have work to do, Melissa said as she creates a pair of tornadoes in her hands. Hurricane Wave. Melissa attacks Yaxamon and easily destroys him. Are you done? Melissa turns around and looks at Hitoshi sitting at the broken window. Yeah. Melissa said. Good, now let's go help Izuku, Hitoshi said. For his part, Izuku is freeing all the captive Digimon in the area, all of them being rookie level and below. Bastards. Capturing defenseless Digimon, Izuku thought as he finished freeing the Digimon. Hey you, could you stop? A Peman said, entering the room while holding the familiar sword in his right hand. Go to a safe place, Izuku said to the rescued Digimon, who listened and began to run away. What is all this? Why do you do it? And most importantly, why use defenseless Digimon for this? First, you don't care. Second, you don't care, and third, you don't care, A Peman said while attacking Izuku with the sword. Izuku crouches and easily dodges the attack and quickly attacks A Peman with a punch to the stomach, sending him flying and crashing into the wall. You're wrong about that. I do care. Izuku attacks A Peman with a fire fist. Pyro punch. A Peman manages to move in time and dodge the attack, which creates a crater in the wall upon impact. Die. A Peman attacks Izuku with the sword but he blocks it with his arm and, thanks to his armor, takes no damage. I didn't hurt him. A Peman did not finish his thoughts as Izuku kicked him which made him fly and fall to the ground. That sword didn't hurt me, Izuku thought. Maybe it's not finished. This is garbage. Isn't it supposed to be powerful? A Peman said as he sheathes his sword and takes the bone on his back. I'd better stay with the usual ones. Bone strike. A Peman attacks Izuku with the bone but Izuku dodges it with a backflip. Fire darts. Izuku fires several fire bullets at A Peman. A Peman uses the bone to block the fire bullets and then attacks Izuku again. However, Izuku breaks the bone with a punch. Voltic strike. Izuku hits A Peman with a fiery kick which knocks him down. This can't be. His powers have increased. A Peman said as he stands up and takes the sword again. Let's try again. Are you seriously going to try that again? Izuku asked when he saw how A Peman tried to attack him with the sword. Izuku easily dodged the attacks and with a kick pinned A Peman against the wall. That thing was created with the suffering of innocent Digimon. You won't get away with this. A Peman tries to get up but Izuku doesn't let him as he puts his foot on his chest. Izuku prepares a fire punch. All this was for nothing. This thing is useless. Izuku was about to hit A Peman but suddenly the sword gives off a light glow and A Peman feels his power increase to gigantic levels. Now we are talking. Izuku attacks A Peman with a fire punch but is surprised to see that A Peman stops the attack without difficulty. Let the game begin. What the? Izuku couldn't react in time when A Peman punched him hard in the stomach, causing him to fly and crash into a wall, crashing through it and falling to the floor of the next room. His strength increased. Izuku quickly jumps back to avoid A Peman's sword attack but the moment the sword hits the ground it creates an energy wave that sends Izuku flying and destroys a part of the building. Meanwhile outside the building, Denki and Shoto have finished defeating all the enemies. It was easier than I thought, Denki said. Let's get inside and help the others, Shoto said. Just then the wall explodes and Izuku flies away and falls to his knees on the ground. Izuku, Shoto said. You okay? Yeah, but this guy just got really strong, Izuku said. At that moment A Peman comes out of the hole in the building while a dark aura surrounds him. This power is amazing, A Peman said. Ice Age. Shoto fires an ice beam and freezes A Peman, however A Peman breaks away from the ice with ease. That won't be enough to defeat me, A Peman said as he advances towards the trio. Lightning Blitz. Denki fires an electric beam from his horn at A Peman, but he easily deflects it with his sword. Pathetic, A Peman said. Flowery Gust. Lobo Kendo. Suddenly Melissa and Hitoshi attack A Peman from behind. Melissa attacks him with a kick to the neck and Hitoshi with one of her swords. Unfortunately A Peman is not affected in the slightest by the attacks. A Peman grabs Hitoshi by the arm and Melissa by the leg and slams them against each other. Just then Izuku, Denki and Shoto approach A Peman with their attacks ready. Pyro Punch. Thunder Fist. Ice Claw. The trio attacks him but A Peman blocks it with his sword and then sends them flying by pushing them. The chosen ones quickly regroup in front of A Peman. This guy is strong. I didn't know that a champion-level Digimon could be so strong, Hitoshi said. No. It's the sword, I could fight him easily, but suddenly the sword started to glow and A Peman became stronger. Too much, Izuku said. And what is that sword? Melissa asked. There's something familiar about her but I can't tell what. We'll think about that later. First we must defeat this guy, Izuku said. I highly doubt you can, A Peman said as he begins to gather a large amount of energy into the sword. My name will become legend when the world finds out that it was I who defeated you. Get ready, it's time to level up, Izuku said. It's time to switch to the beast spirit. The chosen ones prepare to change into the beast spirit but stop when they see that A Peman, who charged at them, stops dead. What is happening to me? A Peman thought as his body begins to corrupt, break and destroy itself. The power is too much. What's going on? Denki asked. I'm not sure but I think the power was too much for him, Melissa said. I was just thinking the same thing, even so don't let your guard down, Izuku said. Damn it, A Peman said before exploding into a wild, aggressive data purge. Once the data disappears, the chosen ones only see how the sword is the only thing left. So, we won? Denki asked. I think so. We were lucky. Hitoshi said. So, what do we do now? Shoto asked. We take evidence. Izuku said as he approaches the sword. Let's hand this over to Kamashiro for investigation. Izuku takes the sword with his right hand, but a few seconds after taking it explodes into data. Or maybe not, Izuku said. Then we lost the evidence. Hitoshi said. We lost the sword but we finished this business. Izuku said. It's still a victory. Hopefully this will reduce Digimon traffic. Melissa said. I hope so, Izuku said. For now, let's call the digital police to take all these captured Digimon home, then let's report to Nezu. The chosen ones continue with their work, however no one notices that a small fragment of data merges with Izuku. Elsewhere Kishib and Suedo are watching everything that happened on the screen. Wow, that was interesting, Kishib said. It seems that the experiment was a failure, Suedo said. On the contrary, it was a complete success, Kishib said. But A Peman couldn't control the power of the sword, Suedo said. That's where you're wrong. The experiment was not to test if any Digimon could withstand the power of the sword. I already knew that no Digimon there could withstand it. It was a test of power, Kishib said while taking out a card from a machine with the symbol of the crest of pride on it. And it was a total success. So, is it time? Suedo asked. Kishib smiles. Yes, it's time to put the plan into action. Kishib said. We will soon reach the pinnacle of human evolution. Back with the chosen ones, the digital police have arrived and are taking care of things. Meanwhile the chosen ones are talking to Nezu through a holographic projection disc which projects Nezu. So that's what happened, Nezu said. Yes, they were using Digimon to create a sword which can increase the power of its user. Izuku, already back in his human form, said. I tried to take it to give it to Kamashiro so they could analyze it but it was destroyed as soon as I grabbed it. It doesn't matter. Saving all those Digimon makes me feel calmer. Nezu said. So, what happens now? Hitoshi asked. For now that's all. I will send what I discovered to Yuko-chan so they can investigate it. When I have something I will let you know. Nezu said. Understood. Izuku said ending the communication with Nezu. Very well, and you heard him. We are done for today, let's go to sleep. Without further ado, the chosen ones return to the bedrooms, where everyone was already asleep and after showering they all go to rest as well. Unknown place. Izuku opens his eyes and looks around. He finds himself in a place he has never been before, and he has been in several strange places. The place is dark, some data flows in the same direction, but the only thing here is a platform on which Izuku is standing. Alright, now what happened? He thought. At that moment a light and data bridge turns on and goes in the same direction as the data is directed. I guess there is no other way to go. Following the path Izuku sees nothing but the same thing. He continues walking for minutes until he finally reaches another platform on which there is a throne. But what surprises Izuku the most is who is sitting on that throne. You, how come you are here? Izuku said with fear and fury at the same time. How is that you are here, Lucimon? Sitting in a black lathe, with a smile on his face is that enemy who caused so much damage to the human and digital world, the one who actually killed him once, that enemy who was defeated only by uniting the 10 digital spirits. Well, it's been a long time, Izuku Midoriya. Lucimon Falldown Mode said. Izuku looks with anger, and some fear, at who is sitting on the throne in front of him. He still cannot believe that he is here, after everything he and his friends had to do to defeat him and he is here. How is that you are here, Lucimon? Well, it's been a long time, Izuku Midoriya. Lucimon Falldown Mode said. This is certainly something unexpected. The Digital Hero. The Lost Legends Opening 1v2. Song. Boruto Opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misereret. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kaketasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan Mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya, behind all of them Lucimon can be seen with crossed arms. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Korkara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops the background behind her lights up revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Ijan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed, in the distance, leaning against a building, is Lucimon. Akari wo I ni mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi janain da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo kawaita daichi ni yumi wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paildramon form, attacks Kishibe but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luimon form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Danake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Korkara. Shota. Alex and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Aizuman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf and Lucimon can be seen in the background leaning against the wall. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. How are you still alive? We destroyed you, Izuku said. What's more? Where the hell are we? Believe me, I am also surprised by these events. Lucimon said as he stands up from the throne and stands in front of Izuku. To answer your question, we are here. Lucimon points to Izuku's head. We are on your mind. What? How is that possible? What are you planning? Izuku asked. I don't have anything planned. I didn't even know this would happen. Lucimon said. Also, if I could do something, like control your body for example, do you really think I would bring you here to chat with you? No. You probably just did it and that's it. Izuku said. Well, you're telling the truth, but I still don't trust you, and I never will. Whether you trust me or not doesn't matter to me, Lucimon said. Then answer me, how come you are here? How are you still alive? Izuku asked. You seriously haven't noticed? It's the sword, Lucimon said. That sword that A Peman used and that you tried to grab. The sword. What does that sword have to do with you? Izuku asked. You really are dumber than I thought, Lucimon said. Think for a moment, doesn't that sword remind you of anyone? Izuku begins to remember. The sword, its design. After looking once more he realizes, that is why the sword is so familiar. That sword looks like you, Izuku said. No, that sword doesn't look like me, that sword is me, Lucimon said. Well, that sword is the concentration of my power in an object to be more exact. But, how is that possible? Izuku asked. Isn't it supposed that when a Digimon dies its data is reset and reused for the birth of a new Digimon? Yes, but being in the human world a new step is added. First that data has to return to the digital world, Lucimon said. And that step can be used in different ways. For example, when I died fighting the legendary warriors and thanks to the fact that the connection between our worlds was not as strong as it is now, my data wandered until it joined a human. But that doesn't explain the sword, Izuku said. The human who created the sword took advantage of this step to intercept my data before it could return to the digital world, and with this, and using data from other Digimon to stabilize the power, the human created this sword, also known as the Sword of Pride, Lucimon said. Sword of Pride. I guess it's because of your Demon Lord crest, the Crest of Pride, Izuku said. Exactly, and if I'm correct, the rest of the Demon Lords suffered the same fate, Lucimon said. There are still 6 more swords that you haven't come across yet. Are there more swords? Izuku asked. How do you know all this? Because, although I can't do anything while I am that sword, there is still something of my consciousness left, and when I was finally able to form a body inside your mind I was able to see everything that happened, Lucimon said. I still don't know how you are here, Izuku said. When you touch the sword and it self-destructed to return to its creator, a small fragment of my power, of my data, could join the closest being with digital energy, that is, you, Lucimon said. But, if it's just a fragment of you, how come you are in your fallen angel form? Izuku asked. We are in your mind. When you think of me the first thing that comes to your mind is this form, with which you identify me the most, Lucimon said. My current form is thanks to the perception you have of me. I see. Wait, Izuku said. You say you know everything that happened, then you know who we're facing. You know his plans, don't you? Yes, you are right, I know who is behind all this and I also know their plans, Lucimon said. Then you can tell me what's going on and we can get this over with, Izuku said. Who do you take me for? An ally, an encyclopedia which you can ask anything to get answers, Lucimon said. Don't forget. I'm not your ally, I'm your enemy. Just because I can't do anything against you doesn't mean I'm going to help you. But, the talk we had before you died, you said that, Izuku said. I said that you may be the solution to save my world. Yes, but I never said that I agreed with your actions and your ideals, Lucimon said. You defeated me and therefore earned the opportunity to try things your way, but that doesn't mean I will help you. So you prefer the enemy to win? Izuku asked. I am not on anyone's side. Neither yours nor your enemy, I am neutral, I am just another spectator in this, Lucimon said. I'm not going to help you, but I won't help that human either. I see, yes, it makes sense, Izuku said. Still, you said it, we earned the chance to try, didn't we? At least give me something, a clue, a teaspoon of sugar. I already told you, I won't tell you anything, Lucimon said. Seriously? Not even to give us an advantage against that person who managed to turn you into a simple throwaway object? Izuku asked. It must be strange, to go from being the one who uses others to being the one used as an object. Lucimon grunts but then laughs. You are good, and you are right, I am the one who uses others as they please, I am not the one they use, Lucimon said. Very well, I'll give you something, but after this don't ask me for anything else. Deal, Izuku said. Lucimon turns around and sits back on the throne. The human you are looking for is Kishib, Lucimon said. Rai Kishibe. I think I've heard that name before, Izuku said. That's your problem now, Lucimon said. I already gave you your clue, your teaspoon of sugar, now get out of here. Suddenly Izuku disappears, leaving Lucimon alone. Lucimon smiles. This will be interesting, Lucimon said to himself. Let's see who wins, you, or her. Real world. Izuku suddenly wakes up. His breathing is labored and sweat falls from his forehead. What was all that? He thought. Was it all real? Izuku, is everything all right? Melissa, who was sleeping with him, asked him. You feel good? I see you very agitated. Izuku tried to say, but he stared at the corner of his room. There it is, Lucimon is leaning against the wall of his room. Melissa raises an eyebrow and looks in the same direction as Izuku. Are you okay? She asked. Why are you looking at the wall? She can't see him, Izuku thought as he watches Lucimon's smile grow. Yeah, it's just. I had a bad dream. Oh, Melissa said and then snuggled with Izuku. Don't worry. I'm here with you. Izuku looks at Lucimon one more time. I know, he said. Come on, go back to sleep, maybe we'll have a little more time to rest. Melissa said, but then the alarm clock goes off. Or maybe not. Well, it's time to get up. Melissa gets out of bed and starts picking up her clothes from the floor. Izuku just watches her. Right, we did that last night. Izuku thought with a small blush on his cheeks, then looks at Lucimon, who just smiles and gives him a thumbs up. Great, it went from being a tense situation to an embarrassing one. Without further ado, Izuku decides to ignore Lucimon, for now, and prepare for classes. Izuku, along with the rest of his classmates and their Digimon partners, heads to their classroom. However, Izuku does his best not to facepalm since Lucimon is apparently following him. Why does he have to follow me everywhere? He thought. Because I am linked to your mind and therefore I can only appear around you, Lucimon said. And yes, as you can see, I can hear your thoughts, and no, don't worry, no one else can see or hear me besides you. Great, Izuku thought sarcastically. If you're going to be showing up, at least keep quiet, I have enough seeing you. Izuku, are you sure you're okay? Melissa asked. My head hurts, Izuku said. If you feel bad, I advise you to go to recovery, girl, Iida said. Don't worry, it's just a minor annoyance, there's no need, Izuku said. Arriving at the classroom, everyone takes their respective seats waiting for their teacher to arrive. Good morning. I hope you slept well, Aizawa said as he enters the classroom. Good morning, Aizawa-sensei. I hope you slept well too, Iida said. I slept enough. Today you would finish your hero resume. With this you will be able to find opportunities when it is time to graduate, Aizawa said. So take out your resumes and finish them. Please do it in silence. When you finish you can take the rest of the class free, but outside please, he will be watching you so that you do not make noise. Suddenly, from between Aizawa's bandages, a Digimon emerges which has the appearance of a shadow with 2 eyes and a mouth. You heard Shota. I'm in charge now, the Digimon said. Aizawa Shota, aka Eraserhead. Age: 33. Quirk: Erasure. Digimon partner: Eisman. Scatter mode. After everything that happened in both wars, Aizawa is still a teacher at UA. His attitude does not differ much from what it used to be, although he now delegates several of his responsibilities as a teacher to Eisman, mainly those other than teaching something specific. Interestingly, Shota is able to use his quirk through Eisman's eyes. Thanks to this he can keep his quirk active indefinitely, thanks to the fact that Eisman does not need to blink as well as use his quirk in 2 different directions, using his eyes and those of Eisman. Alright, everyone heard Shota. Get to work, Eisman said. Everyone begins to do as indicated while Aizawa enters his sleeping bag while leaving Eisman to watch over the students. In another part of Japan, Kishibe and Suedo are analyzing the card with the symbol of pride. Just as we thought. It lost some of its power, Suedo said. That's not good, Kishibe said. What do you think could have happened? Maybe some of the power remained in A Peman and when he died it went with him, Suedo said, but it's nothing to worry about. We can still continue with the plan without problems. The amount of power lost is insignificant and will not affect anything. How much was the amount of power lost? Kishibe asked. Between 5 and 7%. Suedo said. When it comes to Lucimon's power and the crest of pride, it's nothing. Very well. Then let's continue with what we planned, Kishibe said. But stay tuned in case we manage to find the lost percentage. Yes ma'am, everything is ready for the operation, Suedo said. Kishibe smiles. I can't wait, Kishibe said. I'm counting on you so that nothing bad happens, Suedo. The chances of the procedure being successful are greater than 90%, nothing bad will happen, Suedo said. Excellent, Kishibe said and then looked at two people in the room. Both people are in the shadows of the room and their features cannot be distinguished. Meanwhile, you two already know what to do. Yes, Lady Kishibe. A female voice said. We will do what is indicated. A male voice said. Nezu's office. After classes, the chosen ones meet in Nezu's office to discuss what happened. I sent everything gathered to Yuko-chan. Kamashiro is already investigating things, Nezu said. So, we have nothing else to do but wait, Hitoshi said. The information we gathered was ambiguous. When the team assigned to gather information arrived, the database had been deleted. We were only able to rescue fragments of information, Nezu said. What if I told you that I have new information? Izuku asked. I would appreciate it, but how do you have information? Nezu asked. I have the name of who is behind all this, Izuku said. Does the name Rai Kishibe sound familiar to you? Kishibe, Melissa said. Wait, isn't she? Yes, the woman we met that day, Shoto said. You know her? Izuku asked. You do not remember. She's the woman who took us to Kamashiro when we faced Barbaman, Denki said. I see, specifically the mission to the digital world in which I did not participate, Izuku said. Right, sorry, Denki said. I already knew that this woman was up to something. I had a bad feeling about her from the day we met her, Hitoshi said. Still, this leaves me with a question. How do you know this, Izuku? Nezu asked. Someone told me, Izuku said. And who is this someone? Nezu asked. Izuku looks towards the back wall of the room. Lucimon is there, leaning against the wall, with a smile on his face, the same smile that brings him bad memories. That someone. It's Lucimon, he said. Todoroki residence. Toya, after several months away working, has finally returned home. I'm so tired it hurts to even think, Toya thought as she opens the door to his house. I'm back. Toya Todoroki aka Night Lion. Age. 26. Quirk. Blue Flame formerly. Digimon partner. None. He possesses the digital spirits of darkness. Professional hero working with Endeavor's agency. Welcome back Toya. His mother, Rei, welcomes him. I'm glad to have you back. How long has it been? Several months. Things got complicated, but at least we're done. Toya said. Fuyumi and Natsuo are here. Yes, please come in, they will be happy to see you. Rei said. You arrived just in time for the food, it's already ready. Perfect, I'm so hungry. Toya said. The food on the missions is terrible, yours is 1,000 times better. Without wasting time Toya enters her house. Opening 1v2. Song. Boruto opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misereret. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya, behind all of them Lucimon can be seen with crossed arms. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa kor kara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Kurao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops, the background behind her lights up, revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city. He is relaxed. In the distance, leaning against a building, is Lucimon. Akari wo I ni mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi janane da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this, Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form, also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe, but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands, which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paildramon form, attacks Kishibe, but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luimon form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Denake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa kor kara. Shota, Alex and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Aizuman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf, and Lucimon can be seen in the background leaning against the wall. Kokura Kurao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear, and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Ooh hi, I think I heard wrong. You clearly didn't say Lucimon, right? Hitoshi asked. You heard right. Izuku said. But, that doesn't make sense. We destroyed Lucimon, didn't we? Shoto asked. I hate every time someone says that, Lucimon commented. Yes, we defeated him, but apparently he just didn't stay dead. Izuku said. Well, more or less. I don't understand. Denki said. Could you explain it please? Melissa said. When we defeated Lucimon, someone took his data before he returned to the digital world. Izuku said. Do you remember the sword we found last night? The one that exploded when you took it? Hitoshi asked. Well, that sword is Lucimon. Izuku said. What? Melissa thought for a moment. Now that you mention it, taking into account the appearance of the sword, it looks like Lucimon. Now that you say it, it makes sense, Shoto said. Interesting, so someone created that sword using Lucimon's powers, but that doesn't explain why he told you this, Nezu said. When I touched the sword and it exploded, the data returned to its creator, but a small fragment of that data merged with the first thing it came into contact with, me, Izuku said. Are you saying that you have a small fragment of Lucimon inside you? Hitoshi asked. Yes, And it took shape using my memories of him. Izuku said. And now I can see Lucimon everywhere, in fact he is right behind Principal Nezu. Everyone turns to look at where Izuku said but they don't see anything. There's nothing there, Denki said. It's because only I can see and hear him, Izuku said. I guess it's because only you have a fragment of his power within you, Melissa said. Wait. Aren't you worried that he might do something? Of course I am, but in his own words, he can't, Izuku said. At least not now, if he could, he would have done it already. Yes, I guess it's true, Hitoshi asked. Still, how do you know that the name he gave you is real and not a trap? Shoto asked. I thought the same thing but he is proud and I don't think he likes being used as a simple object by other people, Izuku said. That is why, out of his own arrogance, he is telling the truth. And he didn't tell you anything else? Nezu asked. He is not on anyone's side. In fact it was difficult for me to get this bit of information from him. He said that because I defeated him he gave it to me. I highly doubt he will tell us anything more. You assume right, I won't, Lucimon said. Izuku sighs. It hasn't even been a day and he's already tired of this guy. Yeah, he won't, he said. You okay? Melissa asked. Yes, it's just that the idiot keeps talking all the time, and it makes me desperate, Izuku said. But don't worry, unless he has something interesting to say, I usually ignore him. So, if you think the information obtained is reliable, we should do something about Kishibe, Nezu said. If I'm not mistaken she used to work at Kamashiro before she disappeared, Hitoshi said. Maybe they can tell us something. Good idea. I'll contact Yuko-chan and inform her that we need an emergency meeting, Nezu said. Still. I ask you to keep the matter of Lucimon in the shadows, we don't know who may be listening. Understood. Izuku said. Very well. That's all, I will inform you when I have the date and time of the meeting with Yuko-chan, Nezu said. All right, we'll be ready when it's time, Izuku said. With nothing more to do, the chosen ones leave Nezu's office. Are you seriously following orders from a Bokoman? Lucimon asked. This is very stupid, you should be the one in charge of all this. Shut up, Izuku said to Lucimon. A few days later, the chosen ones arrive at the Kamashiro company. We have arrived, Kamashiro company, Izuku said while parking his motorcycle. It's been a while since we came here. Since our second year at UA we haven't come, Melissa said. No time to lose, Hitoshi said getting out of the car that he parked next to Izuku's motorcycle. All right, let's do it, Denki said. Okay, let's go, Izuku said starting to walk in the direction of Kamashiro's main building. The rest of the chosen ones followed him. So this is Kamashiro, looks interesting, Lucimon said. Once inside, being the chosen ones they have permission to enter without anyone accompanying them. They begin to head to Yuko's office, but halfway they cross paths with someone they know. So you finally let yourself be seen, a blue-haired girl said to them. Alex, it's good to see you again, Izuku said giving the girl, now identified as Alex, a handshake. Alex is a girl with dark blue hair that reaches her hips and is mostly tied up in a braid. He has bright aquamarine blue eyes. She usually wears a short royal blue dress, blue skinny jeans, light blue penny loafers, and a white crop jacket, although now she is wearing a black military-style suit. Alex Faith. Age. 19. Quirk. Mermaid. Digimon partner. None. Alex Faith is originally from the United States but moved to Japan with her parents at a very early age. Alex graduated from UA, belonging to the same class as the Big Three, where she decided to join Kamashiro in its investigations into the digital world. Izuku and the others met her during their second year at UA during a visit to Kamashiro. Same thing, it's been a while since we saw each other, Alex said and then looks at Shoto. Shoto. Tell me, how's Toya? He's fine, I think, Shoto said. He just returned from a mission a few days ago. Alex smiles. So what are you doing here? She asked. We have a meeting with Yuko-san, Izuku said. I see, in this case let me accompany you, Alex said. Izuku nods and everyone heads towards Yuko's office. Your suit is different from the one you usually wear, Melissa said. Yes, I'm not wearing my hero suit because this suit is for the incursions, Alex said. Incursions? What was that? Denki asked. It's obvious that you don't remember it. When they came it was just a project, now it's a reality. Alex said. Incursions, as their name says, are incursions into the digital world where, with the necessary permission, we can carry out tests and analyses about the digital world in order to understand it better. Yes, I heard something about that. I'm glad it finally happened, Hitoshi said. After graduating from UA, I decided to join the digital world incursion team. Alex said, although this is the first time I'm going on an incursion. At that, the group finally arrives at Yuko's office. We have arrived, Alex said as she opens the door. Yuko. You have visitors. The chosen ones are here. Oh, Alex. Yuko said. Thanks for bringing them, although I think you should be somewhere else, the incursion is about to begin. Right, Alex said and then looked at the chosen ones. Well, I guess we part ways here, good luck with whatever you have to do. Thanks, same thing, good luck, Izuku said. Alex nods and then puts on a helmet and runs away. The chosen ones enter Yuko's office but are surprised to see that she is not alone, there are two more people with her. The first one is a woman dressed in a red sleeveless dress, a short red cape with a cowl, long purple gloves with a dark webbing pattern around the elbows and a golden spider-like design on the back of the hands, a purple belt, and odd purple boots with gray soles. She also wears a tall striped red and purple sun hat with a red rim including a webbing pattern, which is adorned with a golden spider-shaped brooch with a pink gem in the middle, and large dark purple shades with golden rims which conceal its eyes. The other one is a man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves, and black shoes. He also wields a cane. My respects to those who managed to guess who these characters are. Izuku-kun, Hitoshi-kun, Shoto-kun, Melissa-chan, Denki-kun, it's good to see you again, Yuko said. We say the same, Yuko-san, Izuku said and then addressed the other two people. I don't think I know you. My apologies, my name is Arukan. The woman, now identified as Arukan, said. And he is my partner, Mon. Hi. The man, now identified as Mon, said. We are private detectives working on the Digimon trafficking case. Arukan said. We suspect that a former Kamashiro employee may be involved in this. Well, we are in the same boat, we are following the same clue, Shoto said. Is that so? Arukan said before smiling. Well, look how good. That will help us a lot in advancing the investigation. So let's get to work. Yuko said. Kishibe. I never liked that woman. I already had a bad feeling since we met her for the first time, Hitoshi said. I never liked her, but her help was essential to be able to develop the journey into the digital world with Trailman, Yuko said. I find that hard to believe, Melissa said. Yes, at first glance she seems like someone stupid, but in reality she is someone very smart, Yuko said. Do you have something to tell us about her? Izuku asked. Yes, she graduated from university with honors. We don't know what her first job after graduating was, but as you know we hired her for her contributions to the journey to the digital world. For some reason she already had theories about a world parallel to ours, Yuko said. Did she already know about the digital world? Denki asked. I doubt it, she only had theories about a world parallel to ours. These theories are what made us hire her. It was there where we discovered the digital world, Yuko said. But since she disappeared we lost all trace of her. We think she may have someone helping her, Arukan said. A man named Akemi Suedo. Suedo, that name sounds familiar to me, but I don't have anything about it in Kamashiro's database or any company associated with ours, Yuko said. Yes, he was a subcontractor who helped us in a specific phase of the journey to the digital world, the opening of the portals. So there are two people involved in this, Hitoshi said. The question is, what are their plans? Arukan wondered. They are using the Digimon they get on the black market to create swords, Izuku said. We came across one and realized that the sword is based on the power of Lucimon. Lucimon, that can't be good, Arukan said. Indeed, he almost destroyed our world, that they were able to create a sword with his power as a threat, Yuko said. Didn't you manage to recover the sword? I would like to analyze it. No, the sword self-destructed as soon as Izuku touched it, Melissa said. probably some type of security system to prevent theft. I see, Yuko said. We have the possible location of Kishibe's operations base. Uruken said. We intercepted some transfers of laundered money to some sellers and managed to decipher the location of the sender. So we have a location. Denki said. Correct. Izuku said. If luck smiles on us, we will probably have to face Kishibe and that Suedo guy. Yuko-san, could you explain to us about their quirks? I can't say anything about Suedo, it was a subcontracting, we have no record of him as an employee. Yuko said. But Kishibe. She's quirkless, you shouldn't have any problems with her, although if she's the one behind this she'll have some kind of bodyguard or something. Quirkless. Wow, that's interesting. Izuku said. Yeah, Melissa said. Stop crying and take action, this is boring me, Lucimon said. Anyway, I think we already have a destination. Izuku said. I agree. Hitoshi said. Shoto, contact Nezu and have him give Toya the location, we're going to need him there. Izuku said. On it. Shoto said. We will go with you. Uruken said. Are you sure? It could be dangerous. Denki said. We can defend ourselves, besides, we are also involved in this case. Mon said. We know how to fight and our quirks are useful in combat, you don't have to worry. Uruken said. In that case, come on, it's time to put an end to all this, Izuku said. Yes, everyone leaves the room, however Lucimon only observes the new allies, Uruken and Mon. Well, this is going to be very interesting, he said. What do you mean? Izuku asked him. Nothing that matters to you, I'm just saying that this will be very interesting. I really want to see how this all ends, Lucimon said. Whatever, Izuku said and then left the office. Yuko Kamashiro is reviewing some documents, the incursion into the digital world is in process, the chosen ones will be in charge of dealing with Kishibe along with the detectives, things are going well, as far as possible. At that moment someone enters her office. Miss Kamashiro, you have a visitor, an employee said. I don't remember waiting for anyone else, Yuko said. Anyway, let them pass, please. The person who enters is a beautiful woman with fair skin, black eyes, and waist-length blonde hair with a fringe covering her forehead. She wears black sunglasses with pink lenses, a necklace, and a white t-shirt with long sleeves and red buttons. The shirt's topmost button is undone, leaving its cleavage highly exposed. She also wears black gloves, a black scarf with golden circuit-like lines on the shoulders, which is tied near the belly and passes on top of her hair on the back. She also wears black hot pants, and black high heels which are open at the top and have golden circuit-like lines at the bottom. Sorry for the delay, I'm Kyoko Kermi from the Kermi Detective Agency. Kyoko said. I have come for the case for which I was asked for help. Yuko looks at Kyoko with confusion. I think there is a mistake, the detectives we requested for the case have already arrived and are already working with the chosen ones. Yuko said. According to what they told me, you sent them since you were busy, they even showed me the proof that you sent them, Uruken and Mon from the Kermi Detective Agency, your assistants. No, I don't have any assistant, although one wouldn't hurt, but that's not the case, I don't have any assistant, Kyoko said. Yuko starts thinking about what Kyoko said and her worry begins to rise. Oh no, Yuko quickly goes to her computer and turns on its communicator. Izuku, can you hear me? Izuku, we have a problem, we have been tricked, however, the only thing Yuko receives is static. This is bad. It seems that our enemy has played a trick on us and has managed to get ahead of us, Kyoko said. I have a bad feeling about this, Yuko said. Opening 1v2, Song. Boruto opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misereret. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut, that someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu, the 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya, behind all of them Lucimon can be seen with crossed arms. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Korkara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Karao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops the background behind her lights up revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed, in the distance, leaning against a building, is Lucimon. Akari wo I ni mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi janane da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this Kishibe smiles, the egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paledramon form, attacks Kishibe but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luiman form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Danake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I desho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack. Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa Korkara. Shota. Alex and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Eisman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf and Lucimon can be seen in the background leaning against the wall. Kokura Karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. Endeavor Agency. Endeavor is giving orders to the heroes of his agency, among them is Toya. Very well, Vernon, you, Onuma and Kido will be in charge of patrolling the southern section, Endeavor said. Yes sir. They said. Night Lion, you will come with me, Agumon and Endeavor doesn't finish speaking as Toya's D-terminal begins to ring. Sorry, I have to answer. You know, duty calls. Well, my other duty, Toya said. You don't need to explain, answer, Endeavor said. Toya nods and looks at who is calling her. She is surprised to see that it is Yuko. Hi, Toya here, It's weird that you contact me directly. Usually it's either Izuku or my brother who updates me on things. Toya said. They haven't told you what's happening yet? Yuko asked. That confirms things. Why? Toya asked. What's going on? Is everything okay? I have lost communication with others and I believe they are being led into a trap. Yuko said. I need you to arrive at the address I sent you. Also change your D terminal to the emergency channel to be able to communicate with me. Understood. Anything else I should know? Toya asked. There are two guys, Uruken and Mon. I think they are allied with our enemy, Kishibe Rai. Yuko said. Kishibe. That name sounds familiar, Toya said. There's no time to explain. I need you to catch up to the others before it's too late, Yuko said, and at that moment Toya received an address. All right, Toya said before hanging up the call. I'm sorry, but I must go. I heard it. Don't waste time and go, Endeavor said. I will organize a reinforcement team to help. All right, I'm leaving, Toya said, and then left the agency and activated his D terminal. D terminal connected. Lucimon appears on the screen of the device. Spirit evolution. Toya presses the holographic button on his D terminal. Inside the data, Toya extends his left arm upwards while his clothes are stored in the D terminal. Two screens are projected from the D terminal screen, one with Lucimon and another showing Lucimon's spear and shield. The screens explode in a blur of data that covers Toya and transforms him into Lucimon. Then on his left shoulder a different shoulder pad replaces the one he already had, then the shield and spear appear and Toya grabs them. The transformation is complete. The data disappeared and instead of Toya there was Lucimon. However, Lucimon, just like the others, is different. His armor is still black but all of his gold details, including the lion's mane on his helmet, are now white. His eyes are now blue as well as the eyes on his mask, the eyes of the lions on his knees, chest and elbow, and the sphere on his right shoulder are also blue. Finally, the left shoulder pad was replaced with another gray one with the symbol of the Chosen Ones on it. I need to hurry up, he thought. The Chosen Ones along with Uruken and Mon arrive at the destination. The place is a small building of no more than 2 floors. We arrived, Izuku said while parking his bike. As always, Melissa is riding with him. At the same time the others arrive, Uruken and Mon in a brown buggy. So, this is the place, Shinso said. Yes, our information indicates that this is where Kishibe Rai is carrying out her plans, Uruken said. The facade is of a small building located somewhat far from the city, but in reality it is an underground laboratory, Mon said. They probably use the same cloaking technology as in the building where they were making the Lucimon sword, Melissa said. Lucimon sword, Denki said. You have to admit, it's a good name, Melissa said. Well, yeah, Denki said. What else do you know about these facilities? Izuku asked. Not much. There are no maps or anything to show what it is like, just that the most important thing is on the lowest floor, Uruken said. Very well, in that case let's proceed with caution, Izuku said and then tried to communicate with Yuko. Yuko-san, we have arrived, we will proceed to enter the facilities. However, the only thing it receives is static. That's weird, Shinso said. It's the first time something like this happens. They must have something that disrupts the digital waves we use to communicate, Melissa said. Then we have a new objective, restore communications, Izuku said. Without them we will not be able to ask for help if we need it. So, should we split up? Shinso asked. It would not be a bad idea, Izuku said. What about Toya? Denki asked. He doesn't respond. Nor does it appear that he received my message, Shoto said. It must be for the same reason, more reason to recover communications, Izuku said. Let's go in and then we'll see if we separate or not. Meanwhile, inside the building, Suedo is checking several holographic screens in front of him. Akemi Suedo. Quirk. Holographic screen. Akemi's quirk allows him to create holographic displays which he can connect to any device and manipulate them freely. Inside the room that Suedo was supervising there is a machine which opens and expels steam. Kishibe Rai comes out of the machine, all this while the woman is naked and wet. How did everything turn out? Kishibe asked while dressing up. No errors, Suedo said. Kishibe smiles. Perfect, now, you better get out of here. The Chosen Ones will not take long to enter, she said. Are you sure? Suedo asked. You aren't coming. We have to do a field test, don't we? Kishibe said. I guess, Suedo said. Everything for the human evolution. Exactly. Now, it's time to start with what was planned, Kishibe said. You know what to do, right? Of course. Suedo said. The chosen ones along with Uruken and Mon enter the building, however things are not so simple. As soon as they take a few steps inside they are ambushed by several Digimon. We haven't even done anything, Denki said. Suddenly some Digimon are trapped by several gangs which emerge from within Mon's coat. Don't worry, you keep moving forward, we'll take care of this, Mon said. For his part, Uruken fires several needles at the other Digimon. Don't worry about us. Uruken said. Just keep moving forward and find a way down. But, Izuku said, if you achieve it everything will end. Uruken said. End all this. Izuku, we have to keep moving forward. Shinso said. Okay, let's go, Izuku said as the 5 of them activated their D-terminals. Evolution. The 5 quickly transform into their human forms. Let's go, Izuku said as he punches an enemy Digimon with a fire fist. Let's separate. Denki, Shoto, you guys try to find a way to recover communications. Understood. Denki and Shoto said as they separate from the group. Melissa, Hitoshi, look for a map or a way to get around this place. Izuku said. I'll try to find Kishibe. Right. Shinso said as he and Melissa go their own way. Izuku quickly pushes a door to enter a room in front of him where, to no one's surprise, there are already Digimon waiting for him. Yeah, I was expecting that, Izuku said to himself and then started fighting the Digimon. For their part, Melissa and Shinso, taking advantage of the fact that Melissa can fly, went up to the 2nd floor where they found a computer room. A computer room, maybe I can find a map on the computers, Melissa said. We have problems, Shinso said as he points to several Digimon charging towards them. I'll keep them busy, you look for the maps. Right, Melissa said as she sits in front of what appears to be the main computer. All right, it's time to fight, Shinso said as he uses his swords to slash the Digimon attacking him. Elsewhere, Denki and Shoto are still looking for a way to recover communications. Do we have any idea what we are looking for? Denki asked. Not really, but if something is disrupting communications it should be something easily distinguishable, Shoto said. How will we know we are going in the right direction? Denki asked. There will probably be Digimon defending the device that interferes with communications, Shoto said. So does that mean we are going in the right direction? Denki said as he points as several Digimon in front of them charge towards them. I think so. Let's get this over with, Shoto said. Ice Claw, Thunder Fist. Shoto and Denki attack the Digimon. Back with Izuku, he has just defeated the Digimon that attacked him. Izuku is ready to continue moving forward but a shelf moves and reveals an elevator. Said elevator opens and reveals none other than Kishibe Rai. Wow. Looks like we have a guest, Kishibe said with a seductive tone of voice. What brings you here, handsome? Izuku lights his fists on fire. Kishibe, Izuku said. I don't know what you're planning, but whatever that is will end here and now. To Izuku's surprise, Kishibe starts laughing. Poor you have no idea, she said and then her smile changed to an evil one. Nothing you try will stop us. We will reach the pinnacle of human evolution. She's crazy. Human evolution. What is she talking about? Izuku thought. That doesn't matter. I'm going to knock her out quickly. I don't like it but I'll take advantage of her lack of quirk to knock her out with one blow. Izuku charges at Kishibe, however he does not notice that Kishibe's eyes begin to glow slightly, but the one who did notice this is Lucimon. **T. Don't get confident and end her quickly, he said but Izuku ignored him. Pyro Punch. Izuku attacks Kishibe with a fire punch which, upon impact, creates a screen of smoke. Kishibe has been defeated. You're an idiot. Now don't say I didn't warn you, Lucimon said. What are you talking about? Izuku asked him. You are about to find out. Lucimon said. What do you? Izuku doesn't finish asking as the smoke disperses and reveals an unharmed Kishibe stopping Izuku's fist with her hand. What? Kishib giggles before speaking. Let the game begin. Come on Izuku Midoriya, Kishibe said while holding Izuku's fist. Where's all that power you used to fight Lucimon? Kishibe kicks Izuku in the stomach, knocking him down and knocking the air out of him. That was a pretty hard kick. And she is quirkless. Does that mean this is her natural strength? Izuku thought. Meanwhile Lucimon just stares at Kishibe. He can't help but frown. There's something familiar about her. I mean, he already knew her before. She worked for him, damn it. But now he sees that she's really only did it for her own benefit. Still, there's something familiar about her that Lucimon can't guess what it is. Izuku gets up from the ground and quickly ignites his fists. I better concentrate, he thought while Kishibe just smiled. Let the test begin. Kishibe thought. Opening 1v2. Song. Boruto opening 8 Baku. From the shadows a seated woman appears, Rai Kishibe. The place lights up and Kishibe smiles evilly as his eyes begin to glow blue. Nando mo Bakura wa. As a flashback, the 6 chosen ones are seen fighting Lucimon during the First War. Yumi ni Misererit. It is seen when the 6 chosen ones throw a large sphere of energy with their powers united at Lucimon. Atsui iki wo Madashite Kakedasu no. As a flashback, it is now seen when Suzunuman shoots Lucimon Satan mode a beam from his weapon, Orochi. Doko made. In the present day Izuku, in his new Agunimon form, is seen charging at someone unseen. Ikaru ka. The rest of the chosen ones, in their new forms of their respective human spirits, like Izuku, charge against someone unseen. Hate made Mitakut. That someone turns out to be Kishibe, who when she sees the chosen ones, her appearance glistens a little while she smiles evilly and her eyes shine blue. Adarashi Sora ni Sugu. The 6 chosen ones are seen in a group, Izuku in the middle, on his right Melissa and Shoto, on his left Shinso, Kaminari and Toya. Behind all of them Lucimon can be seen with crossed arms. Kakugo wa I Dasho ka. Now Kishibe is seen sitting on a throne while she has a sword resting on the left of her throne. To her right is Suedo and behind her there are 6 figures in the shadows, each one with a sword. Yoke wa Korkara. Kishibe slowly rises from the throne. Kokura Kurao no wa. Kishibe walks through a dark hallway. Mirai Dake. When Kishibe stops the background behind her lights up revealing a gigantic digi-egg inside a glass tube. Then you see several scenes of people walking in the streets accompanied by several Digimon, the new normal life. Kanju Urashite Jan. Izuku is in the center of the city, he is relaxed, in the distance, leaning against a building, is Lucimon. Akari wo I ni Mazet. The breeze moves his hair and Izuku looks up at the sky with a smile. Zero ka ichi Janane da. Like Izuku, Kaminari, Shoto, Shinso and Melissa are also in the center of the city, all enjoying the quiet day. Kanten de Bakura wa Ikaitaru. They all talk among themselves while Melissa looks ahead and smiles. Kote ni Oberetta Sakaida. Toya is leaning against a wall while memories of when he was Dabi flash through his head. Kimi wa Jabun ni Toikakuru. Toya clenches his fist and then looks up with a determined expression. Hantu ni. Kishibe approaches the glass tube where the digi-egg is. Tanoshi no. Kishibe touches the crystal with her right hand. Myun ga Zawameku yo. The egg begins to break. Upon seeing this Kishibe smiles. The egg begins to glow and everything explodes while a glow covers the entire room. The screen splits and you see Izuku and Kishibe, the first with a frown and the second with an evil smile. Nando mo. Izuku, in his new Agunimon form charges at Kishibe with a punch. Bakura wa. Shinso, in his new Lobomon form also charges at Kishibe with his swords. Kawashitaku Naru no. Izuku and Shinso attack Kishibe but she easily dodges the attacks and sends them flying with a kick each one. Mo Kawaita Daichi ni Yumi Wanai. Melissa, in her new Kazimon form, and Kaminari, in his new Beetlemon form, attack Kishibe, Melissa with a gust of wind from her hands and Kaminari with an electric beam from his horn. However, Kishibe easily deflects the attacks with her hands which explode behind her. Kono de Yumidasu. Shoto, in his new Paledramon form, attacks Kishibe but she easily dodges him and sends him flying with one blow. Mono Dake Kaket. Toya, in his new Luiman form, attacks Kishibe with his spear, but she dodges it and then grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Adarashi Sora Danake. Izuku gets up from the ground and attacks Kishibe with a fire punch, but she easily stops it with her hand. Kakugo wa I Dasho ka. Izuku frowns as he tries to push his attack, Kishibe for her part just smiles evilly. Yoke wa kor kara, Shota. Alex and Nezu appear in Nezu's office. Aizuman scatter mode is climbing on Aizawa as if it were a scarf, and Lucimon can be seen in the background leaning against the wall. Kokura karao no wa. A woman appears in a room dressed in red, with white hair, sunglasses, and a hat. Alongside her is a stooped man dressed in a royal blue coat and an odd hat with randomly scattered golden buttons, a gray belt, blue pants, dark brown gloves and black shoes, in addition to having a cane to lean on. Mirai Dake. For a few seconds a creature with 7 eyes and 7 legs appears. Kishibe appears with Suedo and the 6 shadow figures. The 6 chosen ones appear, and behind them a spirit in the form of Suzunuman. The digital hero. Lost Legends. In another part of the building, Hitoshi finishes defeating the last of the Digimon that were attacking them. That was easy, Hitoshi said without realizing that a Digimon was approaching behind him stealthily. Said Digimon attacks Hitoshi but is quickly sent flying and defeated with a simple kick by Melissa. You must be more aware of your surroundings, Melissa said. I knew you got my back, Hitoshi said. Find anything on the computer? No, but I did find some files in some folders, Melissa said as she opens the folder in her hands. Apparently he was doing some experiments on the lower floors, in the basement. So they have something underground, Hitoshi said. Do you know what it is about? No, the file is quite old. It seems to be from the beginnings of whatever they were doing, but, if I had to guess, I would say that it is another sword like the one we found the other day, Melissa said. Yeah, makes sense, Hitoshi said. How will we go down? The elevators have no power. Just when Hitoshi said that, the elevator rings and Shoto and Denki come out. What's up, guys? Denki said. I see you are here, Shoto said. Found anything? Yes, we think we know where Kishibe and Suedo are possibly hiding, Hitoshi said. Melissa found some papers that mention something underground. That explains the buttons to go underground, Denki said. I thought the elevators didn't have power, Melissa said. Hello, Thunder Warrior. I can generate electricity. Electricity equals energy for the elevators, Denki said. Right, Hitoshi said. Why didn't you go down to the lower levels? There is only one lower level and apparently you need some type of access card to go down, Shoto said. Do you mean something like this? Melissa said as she takes a card out of the folder. It seems that someone forgot their card. Should we look for Izuku? Shoto asked. He probably would have told us to continue without him. Besides, he's strong. I don't think he'll have any problems, Hitoshi said. Let's go. Without wasting time, the 4 of them get on the elevator and Melissa passes the access card, thus beginning her descent to the underground. Returning to Izuku, he tries to hit Kishibe but she easily dodges him and delivers a blow that elevates him and causes him to crash against the ceiling and then fall to the ground. Izuku quickly gets up and tries to attack Kishibe again but she dodges him and delivers another blow that sends him through a window, but Kishibe does not let him fall and grabs him by the leg, pulls him and then throws him against the wall. Kishibe stands on top of Izuku and tries to hit him but he expels fire from his back and rises at high speed that crosses the ceiling with Kishibe, both falling on the 2nd floor. Kishibe quickly recovers and grabs Izuku by the arm and throws him to break a pillar and then throws him against the wall, going through it and entering another room. Is that all you got? Kishibe asks but Izuku grabs a desk and throws it at her. However, she breaks it with a punch. I remembered you stronger. Izuku tackles Kishibe against the wall and then hits her with several punches. However, Kishibe catches the last punch while smiling, unaffected by the previous blows. What? Izuku thought. It tickles, Kishibe said as she grabs Izuku and slams him into the ground, then picks him up and throws him against another wall, breaking it. This last year has really made you very weak, or is it that you don't think you need to use the rest of the spirits? Kishibe grabs Izuku by the face, smashes him against another wall and drags him for several meters of wall, then throws him towards the ceiling, grabs him and then crushes him against the floor, breaking through it and thus returning to the 1st floor. Isn't this cute? Kishibe said, the dust dissolving and revealing Izuku lying face down on the ground while Kishibe was sitting on top of him. One of the saviors of our world defeated by a simple quirkless. Izuku tries to get up but Kishibe grabs him by the head and slams him to the ground. You know, your friends are currently going down to the underground level, straight into a trap, Kishibe said. And there is nothing you can do to stop it. Wow. She did beat you up. Lucimon said. Shut up. Izuku said to him. What do you mean by a trap? And ruin the surprise. Perish the thought boy. Kishibe said. I've been waiting so long to be able to do this, to be able to get all of you out of the equation. Toya-san, he's still out there, he will stop you, Izuku said. Yes, I would prefer him to be here to get rid of him too, but that's okay, I can deal with one of you, only one of you won't be able to ruin my plans, Kishibe said. You know. I never thought this day would come. I always thought I should have dealt with Lucimon instead of you, but to my surprise you won. We are allied with the digital world. If you do something that endangers the human world, the Digimon will not hesitate to act. Bantayo, the royal knights we are friends with, they will stop you, Izuku said. Honey, do you think I haven't taken steps for that? Kishibe said. Unlike you who thought that just by coming here you would win, I have everything planned and I am happy to tell you that. I already won. Hearing this, Izuku's eyes widen in surprise and concern. What have you done? He asked. Kishibe just smiles. Kamashiro Industries, Incursion's room. Here I looked at the Incursion team, how is everything going there? Mirai asked. Here, Faith, Ray, repeat please, losing you. Alex's voice can be heard but the transmission is cut off. Sanada, can you try to fix that? Mirai said. That's what I'm doing but I don't see any type of failure in the communications, Urata said. Moreo has a bad feeling. Start the return process, let the team return, Mirai said. On it. Urata said. Keisuke, help me with this. That's what I'm doing, Cusick said while putting on his Digivice goggles. It's Keisuke from Hacker's Memory, I told you I really like those games. This isn't good, Keisuke said. What's going on? Mirai asks but at that moment the portal to the digital world closes unexpectedly. What happened? Something is interfering with the opening of digital portals, Urata said. Something blocks the connection of our world with the digital world, Keisuke said. What do you mean by that? Mirai asked. We cannot open any portal to the digital world, neither we nor anyone on the other side. Something broke the connection of both worlds, Urata said. And the Incursion team? Mirai asked with concern. They are trapped in the digital world until we can re-establish the connection, Urata said. Impossible. What happened? Mirai thought with her eyes wide open. Digital world. Mirai? Alex asked. Mirai, are you there? Sanada, Amasawa, what happened? Another person asked. I don't know. I can't communicate with the human world. Alex said. That can't be good. At that point the group begins to be surrounded by several Digimon that came out of the forests. I take back what I said. This is very, very bad, Alex said. Damn it, Mirai said. What could have caused something like this? Meanwhile, on the other side of Japan, Akemi Suedo is on top of a building while there are several holographic screens around him and his laptop is next to him. Well, I wonder what will happen now, Suedo said to himself. What an interesting turn of events, don't you think? Back with Izuku and Kishibe, the situation remains the same. Tell me something, why are you so determined to stop me? Kishibe asked. Are you seriously asking that? Izuku said. You're killing Digimon for your experiments. A very sad sacrifice, but necessary. Kishibe said. I do all this for humanity. How does killing Digimon help humanity? Izuku asked, he's starting to get pissed. I don't do this for pleasure, Kishibe said. I want to help humanity evolve, to reach its next stage. What do you mean by that? Izuku asked. Being born quirkless makes you realize many things that other people don't see, Kishibe said. We have always been dependent on something. Before it was the quirks and now it is the Digimon, although the quirks are thanks to the Digimon which is a greater reason to do what I do. I want humanity to be able to take care of itself, without an external element, that is why I will use the power of the Digimon that I have sacrificed to achieve it. I understand what you're saying, I'm quirkless too, but there must be another way to do it, Izuku said. You don't have to sacrifice innocent lives for that. Please, do you really feel sorry for the Digimon? Kishibe said. They are programs, data, if they die they simply reborn. She dared. That damn bitch, Lucimon said. You don't understand Digimon. Then, Izuku said, he's now pissed. They're living beings with feelings, like you and me. I know I'm not on anyone's side, but you better beat this woman up, Lucimon said. Get up. Izuku Midoriya, how useless. I knew that talking to you was a waste of time. Anyways. Kishibe said while standing up. Do you want to keep fighting or do you prefer to give up once and for all and make this all easier? Suddenly, Kishibe is punched in the stomach by Izuku, an angry Izuku. I will make you swallow your words, Izuku said and then pointed his arms at Kishibe. Fire darts. Izuku fires several fire bullets from his gauntlets which explode upon contact with Kishibe. However, an unharmed Kishibe emerges from the smoke. That's more like it, Kishibe said and then hit Izuku in the face and send him crash into the wall, making a crater in it. Meanwhile, with the rest of the chosen ones, they leave the elevator and are surprised to see that the underground is very large. Not only is there the machine from which Kishibe had come out, apart from that there are several rooms with machines in each one. However, the most surprising thing is what is found in the middle of everything. In a gigantic tube in the middle of the entire place is a giant digi-egg. It is surrounded by a stasis of energy and is constantly being fed data through several tubes and cables. Do you feel that too? Denki asked. If you mean the gigantic amount of dark energy that digi-egg is emitting, then yes, Shoto said. What's that thing? Melissa asked. That's what we'll find out. Be careful, we don't know what we'll find here, Hitoshi said. The four of them carefully approach the egg, all while looking around. There is a large amount of digital energy being transferred to the digi-egg, Shoto said while scanning the digi-egg with his D-terminal. They are raising a Digimon here, that's obvious, Melissa said while reading the different documents on the table, but the question is, for what purpose? I don't know, but it can't be good, Denki said. For his part, Hitoshi investigates closely and can hear people talking. Attention, we have guests, he said as he approaches the sound and is surprised to see the duo of detectives watching the digi-egg monitors. You too. What are you doing here? Oh, I see you made it this far, Uruken said. It was to be expected. Mon said. I see you're fine, that's good, Denki said. Do you know where Izuku is? Melissa asked. It's strange that he's not here. If I'm not mistaken, he's still up there, Uruken said. Do you have any idea what this could be? Shoto asked. Not really, we just arrived before you, Mon said. This made Hitoshi narrow his eyes. Oh yeah, how did you get down? He asked. By the elevators, Mon said. You said you arrived before us, but the elevators didn't have power before, Hitoshi said. You are lying. Without thinking twice, Hitoshi takes out one of his lightsabers and attacks the duo of detectives. The duo easily dodges Hitoshi. Hitoshi, what are you doing? Melissa asked. There's something wrong with them. I think they're not who they say they are, Hitoshi said as Melissa, Shoto and Denki positioned themselves next to him. Who are you? It seems they discovered us, Uruken said as she takes off her clothes. They took their time, Mon said while doing the same. They both reveal their true identities. Uruken turns out to be an Urukenimon and Mon turns out to be a Mummymon. Urukenimon has a red humanoid upper body protruding from the abdomen of a spider which has red and pink stripes, 6 eye-like spots arranged in 2 columns in the front, and 6 spider legs which each end in a large claw. Its head has 2 horns similar to an Ushi Oni and long white hair. For its part, Mummymon has the appearance of a mummy, as its name suggests, but he also carries a rifle with him. They are Digimon, Denki said. But, how come we couldn't feel their presence? Shoto asked. We are good at hiding as humans, we even learned to hide our digital traces, Urukenimon said. We posed as human detectives to lure you here, Mummymon said. Well, a shame, because we will defeat you and your boss, Hitoshi said while shooting a light beam from the weapon in his left wrist. Howling laser. Urukenimon and Mummymon jump back to dodge the attack. Denki, Shoto, take care of Mummymon. Melissa, help me against Urukenimon, Hitoshi said. Yes, come on, get up, Lucimon told Izuku. That's all you have. Where is all that power with which you faced me? Izuku gets up from the ground and shoots fire bullets at Kishibe, but she dodges them easily and with astonishing speed appears in front of Izuku. "That's all you got?" Kishibe said and then grabbed Izuku by the face and slammed him into the ground. "That makes me wonder how you defeated Lucimon." Kishibe doesn't let go of Izuku and starts squeezing his skull. "This is so much fun. I should have done this a long time ago." Flash spear. Suddenly, Kishibe is hit by Toya who attacks her with his spear covered in energy. Although the attack does not harm Kishibe, it does make her back down and let Izuku go. "The sixth has arrived," Kishibe said. "Midoriya, are you okay?" Toya asked. "Yeah, I was just warming up," Izuku said. "Good to see you, Toya-san, it's been a while since you joined us." "Sorry. Work kept me busy," Toya said. "We'll talk later, let's finish her off first," Izuku said. "Kishibe. Now I remember why that name seemed familiar to me," Toya said. "How happy that you remember me, Chuya-kun, although, wasn't your name Dabi before?" Kishibe asked in a mock childish and innocent tone. "Don't remind me," Toya said. "That's already past." Shadow Meteor. Toya quickly fires a golden energy wave from the lion on his chest. Kishibe smiles and somersaults forward to dodge the attack and quickly approaches the two boys. "Let's keep playing." Kishibe attacks Toya with a punch, who protects himself with his shield, however he flies away due to Kishibe's strength. Izuku tries to attack Kishibe with several fire punches but he easily dodges them all. "Shadow Lance," Toya said, appearing behind Kishibe and attacking with his spear. However Kishibe crouches down and dodges both attacks from Izuku and Toya, then stands on his hands and attacks both with a kick to each one and sends them flying. "So easy," Kishibe said as she jumped back several times to avoid Izuku's fire shots. Just as Izuku stops his attacks, Kishibe stops jumping and without seeing, stops Toya's spear. So predictable. Kishibe quickly uses Toya to hit Izuku who tried to attack her. *T, she's strong, Toya said while standing up. "Quite a bit. Her physical strength is impressive, as well as her reflexes and reactions. She must have trained a lot, although her physical appearance does not show it," Izuku said. "You flatter me. A girl loves flattery," Kishibe said. "Stop acting like that, like you're a little girl," Izuku said. "It's weird." Kishibe opens her eyes suddenly. Her eyes begin to glow blue. "All right," Kishibe said suddenly appearing in front of Izuku. "The fun is over then." Kishibe attacks Izuku with a punch but Toya intervenes and protects Izuku with his shield. However, what happens surprises them both. When he hits Toya's shield a few seconds later it breaks and Toya flies away due to the impact, taking Izuku along the way. They both collide with surprise against the wall and as soon as they recover, they look at Kishibe in shock. "Oh. I think I overdid it a little, right?" Kishibe says again with her little girl attitude. "My shield," Toya said with shock. "How much strength?" Izuku said. That's impossible. Now that you have witnessed my strength, do you give up?" Kishibe asked. "Never," Izuku said. "If we give up it would be turning our backs on all those who trust us," Toya said. Kishibe's smile grows. "That's what I like to hear," Kishibe said as she appeared in front of the two and grabbed their faces. "Why don't we go with your friends?" Kishibe smashes them against the ground, breaking it. She then breaks the ground to go down to the underground. When she reaches the subway she makes everyone turn to look at her. "Kishibe?" Hitoshi asked. "Izuku," Melissa said. "Brother," Shoto said. "Urukenamon, Mummymon, you can go," Kishibe said. "I'll take care of the rest." "Lady Kishibe, are you sure about that?" Mummymon asked. "We already won. You don't need to do more. Besides, I need you to gather them," Kishibe said. "Understood," Urukenamon said and then opened a data portal and left there alongside Mummymon. "Hey, who told you that you could escape?" Denki is about to shoot lightning at both of them but Kishibe prevents it by throwing Izuku at him. Taking advantage of the fact that the others turn to see that, Kishibe throws Toya against Shoto and then charges at Hitoshi and Melissa and without anyone realizing it, she hits Hitoshi to knock him down. Melissa quickly tries to attack her with a kick but Kishibe grabs her leg and then throws her against Hitoshi. Shoto gets up and quickly charges at Kishibe with his ice claws, however, Kishibe easily dodges him and sends him crashing into a pillar with a kick. "Too easy," she said. Melissa and Denki get up and attack Kishib, Melissa with a pair of tornadoes and Denki with an electric beam. However, Kishib dodges the attacks easily and easily appears in front of both of them and hits them in the stomach, knocking them down with one blow. Too weak, she said. Toya is the next to attack, surrounding his spear with dark energy attacks Kishib, but she stops him and punches him in the face. Too predictable, she said. Hitoshi and Izuku join together and attack Kishib in harmony. Izuku attacks with several fire punches while Hitoshi attacks her with his swords, but Kishib dodges each and every one of his attacks, despite the excellent coordination of both. 2. Fun. Kishib said as she stopped both attacks. She takes Izuku by the fist and Hitoshi by the sword, but the impressive thing is that she takes it by the light part without harming herself. What the hell? How come she? Hitoshi doesn't finish speaking as Kishib smashes them both against each other and then throws them against the rest of the chosen ones. She's strong, Denki said. And she's supposed to be quirkless, Hitoshi said. This is so much fun, Kishib said. Whatever you're planning, we'll stop you, Shoto said. That's where you're wrong, Kishib said. You want the world to be better, but you don't want it to evolve. What the hell you mean by that? Toya said. None of you understand it. So comfortable with your lives, Kishib said as she walks towards where the digi-egg is. She stares at it and then takes a device that is on one of the tables and looks at the chosen ones again. I will change that. Kishib crushes and destroys the device with her hand. What do you mean by that? Izuku asked. I could explain, but unfortunately you won't be here to see it, Kishib said, and suddenly the tube behind her, the one containing the digi-egg, starts to glow. It was nice to see you one last time. Kid, Lucimon said. Get the hell out of here, now. Let's get out of here, Izuku said. Too late, Kishib said as the six try to escape, but like she said, it's too late. I will reach. The room is illuminated by a light that blinds everyone. Izuku looks back and stares at Kishib's gaze. The pinnacle of human evolution. The entire place is illuminated by a white light that blinds everyone. A cup of tea falls to the floor. Nezu finds himself breathing heavily as he sweats, his expression one of disbelief mixed with fear. Nezu, are you okay? Aizawa asked. Something happened, Bokoman, Aizaman asked. No. This is very bad. This can't be happening, Nezu said desperately. Please let it be an error. What's happening? Aizawa asks with concern. What would have happened to make Nezu get like this? The chosen ones. I no longer perceive them, Nezu said. They just disappeared. What do you mean by that? Aizawa asked. What happened to my students? Shota. I think, Nezu said and then looked at Aizawa. I think they are gone. Suedo returns to where Kishib and the chosen ones were, but instead of the building there is only a huge crater. You went a little overboard, don't you think? Suedo asked. From the rubble an unharmed Kishib emerges. You think? She asked. I think it was a worthy farewell for the chosen ones. Sometimes I don't understand your fascination with doing things that are too flashy, Suedo said. I don't need you to understand me, as long as we have the same objective it will be enough, Kishib said. By the way, did you do it? Suedo smiles. Of course. The connection between our world and the digital world has been interrupted. No one will be able to connect both worlds again, except us of course, Suedo said. No one can intervene anymore. Good job. Even so there are some issues to take care of so we can work without worries, Kishib said. Come on Suedo, there is still a lot of work to do, we have only just begun. After this the two leave the place, the last place where the chosen ones were seen, where they disappeared and left the human world without its protectors. First person POV. The sound of the waves ends up waking me up, my vision is blurry, the water hits my face lightly forcing me to finally wake up, or at least a little. I get up from the ground, or rather from the sand. I am on what seems to be a beach, a coast. I don't know where I am exactly, my vision is still blurry and I can't distinguish my surroundings very well. Slowly I start to move, my legs are weak, I move slowly, however my energy is very low, my body is tired, I can't even think correctly. After a few moments my body can't resist and I fall to the ground again, my eyes little by little close. The last thing I can make out are several figures approaching me, after that, darkness. Back to normal POV. Endeavor enters the interrogation room. As usual he is accompanied by Agumon. "How are things?" he asked Tsukauchi. "We have her, which is strange because she almost gave herself to us. She didn't put up any opposition," Tsukauchi said as the two look through a window. On the other side is Kishibe sitting in front of a table while her hands are handcuffed. However, the woman does not look nervous. It seems that she is not taking this seriously. To all our interrogators she just flirts regardless of gender and only responds with nonsense. Kishibe can be seen calmly while drinking tea, which they really don't know where it came from. Even though her hands are cuffed she doesn't seem to show any difficulty moving her hands or doing anything with her hands. "I'll take care of this," Endeavor said. A couple of days have passed since they disappeared. The latest in their investigation puts Kishibe as the main suspect. "We have to know what she did with them," Tsukauchi said. "You forget that two of them are my children. I really do this more for them than anything else," Endeavor said. "Understandable, but try to stay neutral on the matter, okay?" Tsukauchi said. "I know, I'm a professional, I know how to keep my emotions under control," Endeavor said. "I'll go with you," Agumon said. "We cannot be overconfident." Endeavor nods. "Let's go," Endeavor said as he and Agumon proceed to enter the interrogation room. "Oh wow, I didn't know that someone like me deserved the #1 hero to get involved," Kishibe said with excitement. "Stop the nonsense, Kishibe. Where are they?" Endeavor asked with aggression. "I have no idea what you're talking about," Kishibe said obliviously. "Where are the chosen ones?" Endeavor asked. "Oh, that's right. They disappeared. A shame," Kishib said. "We haven't made that public, only some of us know about it." "How come you know?" Endeavor asked. "Oh," Kishibe said while faking a surprise. "Is that so? Now tell us, where are they?" Endeavor asked. "Well, I can't deny that I don't know where they may or may not be," Kishibe said while rambling. "Although maybe I know where the possible place where they went is. That is not completely true since their possible location is practically random, but I may or may not know the possible place where that randomness." "Stop rambling. What the hell did you do?" Endeavor asked, starting to lose his patience. "And what makes you think that I know what happened?" Kishibe asked. "Nezu and Kamashiro gave us the investigation they have on you," Endeavor said. "So stop wasting time and confess." "I see, so that's how they found out," Kishibe said. "Kamashiro, and I thought Yuko-chan was just focusing on her little incursion program." "How do you know about that?" "That program is still in the testing phase," Endeavor asked. Kishibe laughs lightly, his gaze changing from his usual innocent one to a more serious but still cheerful one. "Do you think you caught me?" she asked. "Oh honey. I let myself be captured. I did it because it benefits me. I have a bad feeling about this," Agumon said. "You should listen to your partner," Kishibe said as she stands up and with just moving her hands she breaks the handcuffs, "because things are about to change here." "What the hell are you planning?" Endeavor asked. "Only the best for our world. You have nothing to worry about," Kishibe said. "Oh really? And what about the chosen ones? Did they have to worry?" Endeavor asked. "Believe me, it's not something I liked doing, but they were the only ones who could get in the way of my plans," Kishibe said. "A necessary sacrifice, but don't worry, if you are worried about their well-being, they are still alive, they are just not here, in this world." "This world," Endeavor said and then realized what happened. "The digital world." "Bingo," Kishibe said. "But the connection with the digital world is destroyed, we cannot connect with the digital world," Agumon said. "A shame, how sad," Kishibe said in a mocking tone. "You may not be able to, but I can." "What? How is that possible?" Endeavor asked. "Who do you think closed the connection of the digital world with ours from the beginning?" Kishibe asked. You made us lose connection with my world," Agumon asked. "Isn't that obvious?" she said with sarcasm. I will," Agumon said with anger but is interrupted by Kishibe. "You won't do anything, none of you will do anything. I'm the only person who can make them come back," Kishibe said. "I have everything prepared so that if something happens to me, all the information on how I managed to block access to the digital world and my plans will be erased. We can repair the damage without knowing how you did it," Endeavor said. "Yes, but how long will it take you?" Kishibe asked. How do you know that the chosen ones will be able to survive so long? They are not weak, they have their powers, Endeavor said. Yes, they have them, but whether they can use them is another thing, Kishib said with a smile. What did you do to them? Endeavor asked. I just made sure they didn't interfere with my plans, but don't worry, they'll be fine. Kishib said. Contrary to what you think, my intentions are not evil, I don't even want to destroy our world. I just want the best for our world, but the way things are now, well, I have to be the bad guy in the story. And you think the Royal Knights or Yggdrasil won't do anything? Agumon asked. No. They won't do anything, they will have their own problems to deal with in their world, Kishib said. What have you done? Agumon asked. What was necessary so that no Royal Knights or Yggdrasil would get in the way of my plans? Kishib said. Sorry little one, but my priority is my world, not yours. Fury floods Agumon. Endeavor notices how his digivice begins to glow. Agumon, stand down. Agumon ignores Endeavor and forces himself to digivolve into Geogreymon, destroying the room where they are and attacking Kishib with his jaws. Kishib just smiles as she watches Geogreymon approach her. To everyone's surprise, Geogreymon stops a few feet away from Kishib, or rather someone stopped him. What? How is this possible? Endeavor asked. There are many things that none of you knew, things that happened long before the Chosen Ones were a thing, Kishib said. Eraserhead's brat wasn't the first human to have a Digimon partner. Endeavor, Geogreymon, meet my partner Digimon. Malo-Myotisman. Malo-Myotisman is a vampire Digimon very similar to an android with white armor that has two mouth-shaped cannons on its shoulders. These canyons are called Sodom and Gomorrah, like the biblical cities of the same name. Each of these cannons has eyes of a different color, these being red and blue. On his back he carries a powerful cape like a plane that can launch a powerful and corrosive gas. Kishib snaps her fingers and Malo-Myotisman grabs Geogreymon by his horns and throws him away from Kishib. Geogreymon gets up and tries to attack Kishib and Malo-Myotisman again, but he suddenly returns to his Agumon form. What? Agumon, I said stand down, Endeavor said. He was the one who reverted the Digivolution, the Digivice after an update, and with the permission of the Digimon, he now has a function to do a Digivolution regression. This is a precaution in case of a dark Digivolution. The tamers can return their companions to their previous forms and thus avoiding disaster. Endeavor stares at Kishib. You can go, he said. Are you really letting me go? Kishib asked. There's nothing we can do, at least not now, Endeavor said. You will face the consequences of your actions, I will make sure of that. I don't care, if with that I achieve my goals for my own good. Now, if you allow me. I have to hurry, we don't want our beloved Chosen Ones to stay trapped in the digital world for a long time, right? Kishib said. Are you seriously worried about them? Endeavor asked. Believe it or not, I don't want them to die, I don't hate them, in fact they are very important to our world. However, I need them out of the equation to finish my plan. When I finish, I myself will make sure to return them. Kishib said, and suddenly, a data portal opens behind her. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go. How? Just because you can't doesn't mean I can't either. Without saying more, Kishib and Malo-Myotisman enter the data portal, which closes as soon as they enter. I'm sorry, I let my anger control me, Agumon said. It's okay. Don't worry, Endeavor said. If it wasn't you, it was going to be me. Is letting her escape seriously the best option? Agumon asked. For now, we can't do anything, Endeavor said. We must focus on recovering the connection with the digital world. I don't know what that woman did, but I feel like my world is in danger, Agumon said. Your world will be fine. After all, the Chosen Ones are there, right? Endeavor said. They will make sure your world is safe. Unknown location. Kishib and Malo-Myotisman emerge from the data portal. The room is large enough for Malo-Myotisman to enter without problems. In front of them is Suedo sitting in front of a desk. I see that you have already returned, and that you have Malo-Myotisman with you, Suedo said without seeing them. How did it went? As expected, they know that they can't do anything, but also know that that is temporal, Kishib said, so we have some time to finalize the preparations. That's good, Suedo said. Now, Myoti, dear, what are you doing here? I didn't need your help, Kishib asked. I know. I just wanted to keep you from getting your hands dirty. Matadorman said. Also, we're ready. Kishib visibly gets excited. Oh, is that so? She asked with joy. That's very good news. A giant data portal opens behind Matadorman and 5 Digimon emerge from it, 2 of them being Urukenamon and Mummymon. I have selected the best and we have gathered before you, Lady Kishib. Matadorman said. Honey, you know you don't have to refer to me that way, you are the most special of all, Kishib said. Referring to you in any other way would be disrespectful, Matadorman said. You are a sweetheart. Now. Kishib changes her expression to a serious one and Suedo approaches her with an open briefcase with 6 cards. Kishib takes the one in the center and when she has it in her hand it begins to shine in a data cluster creating a data sphere. Things are going to get very interesting from now on. Arise, my Digimon generals. Kishib attaches the data sphere to Matadorman who begins to be surrounded by black marks all over his body, expelling a large amount of digital energy which creates a large gust of wind that makes everyone have to hold on tightly to avoid being blown away. We will reach the pinnacle of evolution. Digital world. Izuku wakes up suddenly. He is tired, despite having technically been sleeping. Strangely his body doesn't feel that bad, just a little weak from so much inactivity. He sits up where he was lying. It is a rock, but flat. Izuku looks around, seeming to be inside what looks like a cave, but a handmade cave, not a natural one, mainly because of the straight walls and without inequalities. You finally wake up. It's about time, his unwanted companion, Lucimon, said. Did you sleep well? Shut up, Izuku said to Lucimon. Where am I? What happened with Kishib? In short, she kicked your asses. Lucimon said. So, you lost. We lost. And now what? Where are the others? Izuku thought. I don't know. They could be anywhere. That woman set a trap for you so that you wouldn't interfere with her plans. Lucimon said. What do you mean? Izuku asked. She made sure to keep you away from your world. She transported you to the digital world. Lucimon said. What? The digital world? But, if she wanted us out of her plans, why transport us to a place from which we can return? Izuku asked. I just need to find the others and return to our world. Rather you should stop underestimating your enemies. Do you think you can go back? Lucimon said. The link between your world and our world was closed, by her. So. You mean, Izuku said. That's right. You are trapped in the digital world until the connection between both worlds is re-established. Lucimon said. No. It can't be, Izuku said. And you, how do you know that? Do you forget that I am not a creation of your mind? I am inside your mind and I can materialize, so to speak, in the real world but only you can me and besides being trapped to be close to you. Lucimon said. I can see what's going on around me, but I can't interact with anything, and I can only move a limited distance away from you since I am, so to speak, chained to you. And that distance, how much would it be? Izuku asked. I can only appear within a sphere around you, as you are the exact center of that sphere. I can only move approximately a 500-meter radius away from you. Lucimon said. That's how I was able to see, more or less, the things that happened outside of here, and I can say that things got very interesting. Like what? Izuku asked. Why don't you see it yourself? Lucimon said and then moved and revealed what appears to be a mirror. When Izuku saw himself he was left speechless. What? No. This is, Izuku looks at his hands and for the first time processes what's happening. Why am I still in my Agunimon form if I fainted? Supposedly, if we lose consciousness we return to our human forms, Izuku said. Well, it's okay. I just have to return to my human form. Izuku closes his eyes and concentrates. He starts to glow and when the glow ends, he stays the same. Seeing this Lucimon laughs. You should see your face, he said. I can't return to my human form, Izuku said. Why? And how? And, I don't know, why. I don't like to admit it, but not even I have the answer to that. My theory, Lucimon said. When you were transported to the digital world so forcibly, somehow the large amount of energy that surrounded you caused your forms to glitch, so to speak, leaving you trapped in these forms while in the digital world. And, what about the others? Izuku asked. I don't know. They weren't with you when you got here. but they were transported to the digital world. Lucimon said. They are probably somewhere in the digital world, just as lost as you, but without a guide like me to help them. I'll think about that later, Izuku said as he gets up. I have to get out of here, wherever here is. It looks like a cave, but where's the entrance? Lucimon clears his throat and then points to his left. He points to what appears to be the entrance, which appears to have been sealed. Yes, that could be the entrance, but it seems to have been sealed. By force, someone locked me in here and then sealed the entrance, as if they didn't want me to escape, Izuku said. Or, so that whatever was happening outside wouldn't find me. Just one way to find out, Lucimon said. In that we agree, Izuku said as he circled his fire fist and hit the rocks. Pyro punch. Leaving the cave where he was locked up, Izuku looks around. His eyesight gets used to the light, and when he can see normally again he is surprised to see that he is in a ruined place. This place seems to be ruins of a village. The cave where he was seems to have been inside some structure, perhaps a temple, which is now reduced to rubble. It shows how nature is beginning to take over the place. What happened here? Is it some kind of ancient ruins? Izuku asked. No. This village used to house a Digimon society, and that was recently, Lucimon said. But, if it was destroyed recently, why does everything seem to be abandoned for years? Izuku asked. The plants of our world do not function like those of yours, Lucimon said. Although, I lied, what happened wasn't that recent, but it did happen when you were here. No, you don't mean that, Izuku said. You were sleeping for a long time, Lucimon said. How long? Izuku asked. You were asleep for 5 years, Lucimon said. How good it feels to have things under control, Kishib said while sitting on her sofa and stirring her tea with a spoon. Just then, Urukenamon and Mummymon, both in their human disguise form, enter his room. Lady Kishib, we have information, Urukenamon said. Go ahead, Kishib said without taking her eyes off the window. What are her views? Well, she's looking at the remains of a city. She's located on the top floor of a luxury building, the only intact building. Is it safe for you to be here? Urukenamon asked. The city is ours. I have Digimon patrolling everywhere and those who have dared to enter have been eliminated. I am totally safe here, Kishib said. Also, do you seriously think I could be in danger? She said this last while pointing to her new addition to her outfit, a black and purple ribbon tied around her neck in a bow. Well, you're right, Urukenamon said. So, what do you want to tell me? Kishib asked while drinking her tea. The resurrection machine is almost complete, Urukenamon said as she places a device on the table. This device shows a hologram of what appears to be a machine. In the middle is a giant egg and surrounding it are 7 platforms in which something can be inserted into the floor of each one. Kishib looks at the machine and smiles. 5 years, Izuku said, still unable to believe the words he just heard. No, that can't be, you're lying. Believe me, kid, I have nothing to gain by lying to you right now, Lucimon said. You've been unconscious all this time. Some Digimon found you and brought you to their village. Then they were attacked. They hid you in that cave. Attacked? By whom? Izuku asked. By other Digimon, obviously, Lucimon said. I don't know why, but it seemed like this was more than just a fight over territory, almost as if they were in war, Izuku said, finishing Lucimon's sentence. They were at war, weren't they? It seemed so, yes, Lucimon said. You don't know? Izuku asked. Izuku thought, if it really has been 5 years, then when they return to the human world, first I must know what is happening here. I must find the others and find a way to return to the human world. Izuku begins to walk, advancing through a devastated digital world. Remains of battles are the only thing that paints the landscape. What were once large meadows, green forests and beautiful landscapes are now destroyed wastelands. The fields are gray, the vegetation destroyed, the trees some are knocked down, others are dry and only very few remain green. There is still burning vegetation, remains of weapons and structures can be seen scattered on the ground. The scene is gloomy, the only thing missing to complete this gloomy view are the corpses on the ground, but the Digimon do not leave corpses. I think we were right about the war in the end, Izuku said waiting for a response from Lucimon, but he doesn't say anything and just looks around with a look that's impossible to read. Many emotions pass through his face. confusion, doubt, even sadness, but above all, the one that stands out the most, fury, an immeasurable fury. That woman caused this. I have no proof, but no doubts either, he finally said. Kishibe? Izuku asked. Yes. Lucimon simply said. Izuku doesn't say anything else. At this moment he must concentrate. He has to find the others, if they are still alive. That thought makes him stop for a moment. He had never thought about it. He was unconscious all these years, if what Lucimon said is true and seeing the panorama that seems to be true. But the others, there is a possibility that they have also been unconscious. They have been unconscious all this time too. It may even be that some of them are still unconscious at this point, but there is also the possibility that they have woken up long before him, even years before. If that is the case, taking into account that there were signs of a war, could they have been part of it? And if so, could they have survived? That thought haunts him. There is a possibility that they are dead, and if so, no, I must think positively. I can't lose hope, because at this moment, it's the only thing I have left, he thought as he continued walking aimlessly. After hours of wandering aimlessly, Izuku arrives at what appears to be a destroyed camp. Izuku at this moment covered himself with some rags he found along the way, this to avoid being recognized. At the moment he doesn't know what or who he might meet, so for now he must go unnoticed. He inspects the camp for a moment. It is old and has signs of having been abandoned a long time ago, but it seems to be intact, more or less, not counting its condition of abandonment. It doesn't seem to have been destroyed. This camp looks like the ones the resistance used to set up when they fought the demon lords, Izuku thought. Could it be? Izuku investigates what appears to be the camp's main base, where he finds a banner with a symbol, the symbol of the resistance, which would later become the symbol of the Bantaio. The resistance, the Bantaio. They were fighting. And where are they now? Lucimon asked. I don't know, Izuku said while looking for something to locate where he is. Luckily he finds what seems to be a map. It's old and doesn't say much about what part of the digital world he is in, but it gives him other directions. This map. It doesn't say much, but there's a marked location not far from here, probably the main camp or some important location. Or maybe the enemy's location, Lucimon said. Whatever it is, it's a clue. We'll find more answers there, Izuku said. I guess we have nothing else, Lucimon said. I've been silent for 5 years waiting for you to wake up. I can only talk to you, so yeah, it was boring, Lucimon said. Besides, I'm also intrigued by what's happened here. I see. Well, I guess it's nice to have someone to talk to, even if it's just you, Izuku said, then looked at the map. Okay, let's see what this is about. Izuku follows the directions on the map. The road isn't very long, it's only about 10 minutes at most. When he arrives he can see a base. It has resistance banners, so this base belonged to the resistance. The bad thing is that it's destroyed. There are signs that it was invaded and destroyed. It seems they had bad luck, Izuku said. That, or they were losing, Lucimon said. Judging by the state of things, I assume that was the reason. Izuku doesn't say anything, mainly because he doesn't want to agree with Lucimon. He wants to hope that this was just bad luck. But it's obvious that things were going badly for the resistance. Izuku enters what was the main base. Everything is in pieces. There is nothing that can be saved or nothing to indicate what happened. Or at least that's what it seemed. Moving some debris he finds what appears to be a notebook. A diary. It is mostly intact. Some pages are burned and there is no indication of who it can be. Can Digimon also have personal diaries? We sometimes need a way to free our thoughts too, though we usually use other methods, Lucimon said. Using this is probably something we've adopted from you. Izuku takes the diary and sits in one of the chairs to read. It is complicated. Some parts are burned, others are dirty, some paragraphs have been erased by time and neglect. Even so, there is something readable. It's been a month since I decided to start writing. To clear my mind a little, I met Bancho. The war has become complicated. We have managed to hold on, but I don't know for how much longer. The other flanks have fallen. I don't know where they are. I have to find them, if they are still alive. God, I can't imagine how the others are. I just hope they are not as bad as me, even them. I can only keep fighting for now. That was the first entry of all. It's the only one that can be read, Izuku said. This doesn't say much. It just confirms that there was indeed a war. Apparently this Digimon crossed paths with someone from the Bantaio. That explains why the diary is here, obviously it joined them. Today we achieved. It's a morale boost, which is needed, especially now that I still haven't heard any news from. Every day that passes I worry more. I wonder what I would do. In this type of situation, probably. I just hope I can do the same. Everyone here thinks that. If that's what keeps them standing, damn, we're screwed. It seems like they had a victory, but the outlook doesn't look so good, Lucimon said. Bancho, Mon. At first I was surprised to see him, but he is a very strong one. I wish we had more like him, because we need them. I don't know how much longer we can resist like this. It seems that meeting some of the Bantayo members surprised him, but things aren't looking good at all, Izuku said. Today we managed to. It's a morale boost, which is needed, especially now that I still haven't heard any news from. Every day that passes I worry more. I wonder what I would do. In this type of situation, probably. I just hope I can do the same. Everyone here thinks that. If that's what keeps them standing, damn, we're screwed. It seems like they had a victory, but the outlook doesn't look so good, Lucimon said. A year has passed since. I'm tired. The attacks are becoming more frequent. Captured, dead, I don't know. I can only hope that I never thought I'd have to fight in a damn war. Not again. The others, I just hope I can resist long enough. At least I won't go down without a fight. What do you think happened to the author of this diary? Lucimon said. It seems he preferred to die than to be captured. Whether he's dead or alive isn't important now. This only makes things worse. There was at least a year of war and he spoke as if the war had already been going on before he started writing, so it's probably been going on for more than a year. Izuku said. There's not much else that can be done here, let's go. Izuku throws the diary to the ground. It falls with one page open. If only Izuku had investigated more he would have found another entry, the only entry that is intact, the last of all. There's only us left and I can see the enemy troops approaching. This is the end. It's been a year since I woke up and I couldn't do anything but prolong the war a little longer by motivating the resistance to fight, but it seems that it's the end. I never knew anything about the others. I hope you are okay. I just hope that if the others are still alive and are here, you better defeat these bastards and bring peace back to the digital world. If any of you find this it probably means I'm dead, or worse, captured. Still I hope you know that I gave my best. I will make sure that the Warrior of Darkness, Lucimon, gives you the fight of your lives, and Shoto, if it turns out that he died in combat, look after everyone for me. Now, it's time to fight. Quote. At the end the diary is signed by the owner. Toya Todoroki. Izuku leaves the main base, looks around and can't help but get angry. If only I had been here. I could have helped. He thought. But you weren't there. Stop crying over what happened, over the things you can't change, and focus on the present and try to fix things, Lucimon said. Izuku looks at Lucimon. You giving me advice? That's new. He said. I just hate that you're all sad and melancholic and that it wasn't because of me. Lucimon said. Besides, I want you to get to the bottom of all this. I need to know what happened. Are you that worried about the digital world? Izuku asked. I never stopped caring. It's my world and I'll do whatever it takes to keep it safe, Lucimon said. Yeah, I still remember our last conversation, you know, before you became a parasite in my thoughts. Izuku said before getting back on his feet. I guess I appreciate the chat, otherwise it would be really boring to be here alone. Yeah, I guess, Lucimon said but suddenly stopped. We have Digimon up ahead. Finally, Izuku said as he approached the group of Digimon ahead, a group of Ogremen and Meramon who were apparently bothering A Peman. What are they doing? What's going on? I see you're calmly strolling through one of the general's territory, an Ogremen said. It wasn't my intention, the Peman said. You know what happens when someone enters a general's territory without permission, Meramon said. I'll leave right away, the Peman said in fear. I'm sorry, but that's not possible. You'll come with us, by fair means or foul, the Ogremen said. Hey, Izuku said. They didn't recognize him because of the clothes he was wearing. Mess with someone of your own level. And who are you? Meramon said. Do you know what happens to those who think they are heroes? Oh, of course I know. They always come out victorious, Izuku said as he took off his hood revealing his identity. The Digimon are surprised to see him. It's one of them, the Ogreman said. Impossible, I thought everyone else was dead, Meramon said. Now, leave him alone, Izuku said. Oh, of course we'll leave him alone, you're a better trophy, the Ogreman said and then attacked Izuku with his mallet. Izuku jumps back to dodge the attack but Meramon appears behind him and attacks him with a fireball. Izuku is knocked down but gets up quickly. Dude, I'm out of shape, Izuku thought as he attacks Ogreman with fire bullets from his gloves. The bad thing is that Meramon got in the way and absorbed the fire. Then the Ogreman attacks him with its mace. Izuku blocks the attack with his arm but the mace still makes him retreat. Did I really weaken that much? Something's wrong, Lucimon said. Yes, this time I will listen to you, Izuku thought as he dodged the Ogreman's attacks and counterattacked with a kick to push him away. This time I won't get too confident. If I'm too weak in this form, then I'll move on to the next one. Izuku begins to glow as data surrounds him. Agunimon, slide Digivolve to. The data disperses and instead of his Agunimon form was Burnin' Gray, Mon. He's still Agunimon. I was afraid of that, Lucimon said. Ha ha ha, that was so scary, Meramon said mockingly. Look how I tremble, Ogreman said. What's wrong with me? First I can't go back to my human form, and now I can't change forms, Izuku thought. But I can feel Burningrayman's spirit with me. Are you done? Meramon said. Let me show you how it's done. Meramon digivolves to Blue Meramon. Meramon evolves into Blue Meramon, just a blue version of itself. Let's see how this goes. Blue Meramon attacks Izuku with a blue fireball. Izuku barely dodges it, but Ogreman arrives and hits him in the face with his mace, destabilizing him. Blue Meramon then punches him in the stomach and Ogreman finishes him off with another blow to the face, knocking him out. This is very easy, Ogreman said. Let's take it to the mine. Lord Matadorman will like this new trophy, Blue Meramon said. So a Matadorman, why would they continue to reach an ultimate level if they themselves can reach the ultimate level? Unless, Lucimon thought, and then the realization hits him. That damn woman. Lucimon then watches as Izuku is dragged away. Damn, looks like things are going to get complicated for the brat. Malo Myotisman enters an empty room. After making sure he is alone, 5 holograms appear. 2 of them are Urukenamon and Mummymon. What's up now? A Digimon said. Her appearance is that of a feminine Digimon that wears lipstick, a pink and white dress resembling a wedding cake, black thigh-high stockings, and red high heels. The cake of the dress contains multiple strawberries on each layer. Its pink helmet is adorned with a cupcake-themed trophy on top. Why are we having an unscheduled meeting? I didn't ask for it, Weddenman, Malo Myotisman said. So who was it? A Digimon with the appearance of a merman said. That would be me, Neptunemon. Another Digimon said, it's a Matadorman. And why is that? Urukenamon asked. I found another of the chosen ones. Matadorman said. My troops found him wandering in my territory. I have him working in the mine alongside the other one. Oh, another chosen one, that's 2 you found, lucky you, Mummymon said. Who is it this time? Malo Myotisman asked. The leader, the chosen one of fire, Matadorman said. Good work, but be careful, of all of them, he's the most dangerous, Malo Myotisman said. No need to worry, just like the other one is trapped in his human spirit form, Matadorman said. It's not because of that, he's dangerous because he can move masses very easily. If you're careless he could make everyone escape from the mine, and if we lose that mine Lady Kishib will get very angry with you, Malo Myotisman said. Yes, if you disappoint Lady Kishib again she will slap you, Weddenman said. It was only once and it was a miscalculation, Matadorman said. Just make sure you don't underestimate him, Malo Myotisman said. Whatever, Matadorman said. Now, since we're here together, how are things in your territories, Malo Myotisman? Nothing to report from me, Urukenamon said. Everything remains the same, Mummymon said. It's still just as boring, Neptunemon said. Meh, Weddenman said. Weddenman, status report, Malo Myotisman said. Some Digimon think they're brave and decided to attack one of my digital hazard depots. They're more of a nuisance than anything, Weddenman said. And why don't you finish them off? Malo Myotisman asked. And break my nails? No thanks, Weddenman said. I already sent some troops to deal with it. Just don't screw it up. Matadorman said. They're just a pebble in the road, soon you won't hear anything more from them. Wedenman said. You better. Matadorman said. As Kishibe's generals, we can't afford to make mistakes. We have to help her fulfill her mission. Yes, helping Lady Kishibe is the highest priority, Neptunemon said. Well, if you have nothing else to report, that's all, dismissed. Matadorman said and the holograms turned off. Lady Kishibe, I will make sure you fulfill your dream. Izuku wakes up. He is somewhat disoriented by the blow to his head. I'm tired of waking up after fainting, he thought. I just hope it hasn't been another 5 years. Luckily not, it was only a few hours, Lucimon said. Izuku adjusts his sight and sees that he is inside another cave, lying on some rocks arranged to make a bed, or at least something close to one. Okay, where am I? Izuku wondered. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, Lucimon said. Do you remember the mine where Belphemon was hiding? Yes, a chrome digizoid mine, Izuku said. Well, look at that, you've returned there, Lucimon said. I see. Wait, how do you know that this is where I faced Belphemon? You weren't there, Izuku said. Again, I'm inside your head, I can see your memories, Lucimon said. Right, so, what am I doing here? Izuku asked. Go crazy, you're talking to yourself. Another voice said. Izuku turns to look and sees an Agumon black next to him. Oh, I didn't know there was someone else here, Izuku said, embarrassed. I just got here and found you talking to the air, Agumon said. It's a long story. Where am I? Who are you? What's going on here? Izuku asked. You're in a chrome digizoid mine. As you can see, I'm an Agumon black and we're here to work, Agumon said as he passed a pick to Izuku. Work? Izuku asked. Come with me, Agumon said. Izuku, not understanding much, follows him. I don't understand. Do you know who I am? He asked. Of course, we all know who you are. That's why you're here and why they didn't kill you, Agumon said. Izuku Midoriya, the leader of the Digi-Destined, heir of ancient Greymon. Usually the reactions I get are different, Izuku said. Don't get me wrong, we're happy to see you, but things aren't good at all, spirits are at an all-time low, Agumon said. There was a war, we lost. Yeah, that's what I thought, Izuku said. How did you manage to stay alive for so long? Where have you been? Agumon asked. I was unconscious this whole time, ever since I arrived. Some Digimon hid me in a cave this whole time, Izuku said. That's good, maybe the other chosen ones have suffered the same fate, Agumon said. You don't know anything about the others, Izuku asked. Nothing about the chosen ones of light, wind, thunder and ice, Agumon said. And what about Toya-san? Izuku asked. Agumon doesn't say anything for a few seconds while both walk through the tunnels. In these there are various Digimon digging with picks. What should be noted is that they are all rookie level. You'll see, Agumon said. They both end up going outside. Izuku looks around. There are more rookie Digimon working in the mine while other higher level Digimon stand guard. Welcome to the new reality, Agumon said, where losers work and winners have privileges. What happened to the resistance? Izuku asked. You're seeing it, Agumon said. We're what's left. Most of us were captured after the final defeat. Very few managed to escape, so few that nothing can be done. Izuku was going to ask something else but then he noticed someone working on an oar, that someone standing out from the rest. Toya, he said. The aforementioned, who is in his Lucimon form, turns to look, his expression changing to one of happiness, but also tinged with sadness. Izuku, he said. You're alive. Izuku can't help but hug him. Toya returns the hug but without much desire. I'm glad to see you're alive too, he said. Yeah, I wish I wasn't, Toya said before returning to work. What are you saying? Izuku said in surprise. What's wrong with you? Defeat, that's what happens, Toya said. How long have you been awake? A few hours ago, a day at most, Izuku said. That explains a lot. You still have hope. I've already lost it, Toya said. What do you mean? Izuku asked. I woke up a year ago. I was there during the final moments of the war, Toya said, and I couldn't do anything to help. Izuku tries to say something to her, but he can't think of the words. Let me guess, you're stuck in that form too, Toya said. Yes. Izuku said, and you're weaker than usual, Toya said. Yes. Now imagine that in a war context, where you're supposed to be one of the main pillars and it turns out you can't do anything, nothing more than give encouragement to the others. Toya said. I'm one of the chosen ones, I'm supposed to be the one who should sacrifice myself for the others and look at me. In the end the others sacrificed themselves for me, and in the end it was all for nothing. You're still alive, we can still do something, Izuku said. There's nothing we can do now, Toya said. What are you and I going to do? Trapped in these forms we'll only massage the enemies, not even if we were together we wouldn't do anything, and that's having a lot of faith because I don't even know if the others are still alive. We lost, we failed the others, 5 years have passed, 5 years of war where we left all the Digimon at the mercy of the enemy, 5 years away from our world that who knows in what damn state it's in because the connection between both worlds went to hell. And I was just a burden instead of an asset. Toya, it's over, Izuku, it's over, we lost, they won, there's nothing we can do now, Toya said before returning to work. Get to work or else things will get worse. Izuku just looks at Toya sadly, bows his head as he takes the pickaxe and begins to dig. That's it. Are you giving up? Lucimon asked him angrily. Of course not, but for now I need time to think of a plan. Izuku thought before looking at Toya. But for that I'll need him. Him? He's no good anymore, he's given up. Lucimon said. No, he's just mad at himself, and I understand. From what he told me, he was in the war and couldn't do anything. It must be frustrating. Izuku thought. I just have to wake him up. If you say so, Lucimon said. The next question is, why are they all at rookie level? They're from the resistance, they should at least be able to digivolve to champion level, Izuku thought. Yeah, good point, something is going on, Lucimon said. I'll keep a low profile for now, but I'll investigate as much as I can, Izuku thought. Good luck, Lucimon said. The day continues. While Izuku works extracting Chrome Digizoid he tries to find out what he can, but he really can't find out anything important. The only thing he notices is a black obelisk at the top of one of the sides of the mine. He doesn't know what it does, and Lucimon isn't being as helpful as always, so he can only speculate. After a long day he can finally take a little break. Izuku enters one of the caves to think about what he can do. Stop. Behind him, Toya said. I know what you're trying to do, you'll only get everyone killed. What happened to you? Izuku asked. Reality, that's what happened. Toya said. We lost, there's nothing we can do now, the sooner you accept it, the better. No, I'm not going to accept it, because we haven't lost. Izuku said. Toya looks at him as do other Digimon, including Agumon Black. Right now is when we must keep hope, it's not the first time we've been defeated. We've fallen, we've lost, we've died before, but here we are and we will continue, because it is our duty. You can stay here and give up, but then you will have failed all those who sacrificed for you, or you can fight and make sure that those sacrifices were for nothing. I choose to fight, because that is my duty, and as long as we're alive, even if it's just you and me, there will still be hope, because we are the chosen ones, because we will bring peace once again, we will defeat Kishib and fix everything. I will not give up, because I would rather die than give up. Now tell me, what do you choose? I choose to fight. Agumon said. Me too. A Terriermon said. We have to fight. I'll never give up. All the Digimon start to support Izuku. Toya just looks around, ducks his head and starts laughing. Damn, we really needed you, he said with a laugh. You and your damn speeches. I really needed one of those. Welcome back. Izuku said. I hate you. Very well, we have to fight. Toya said. Now tell me, leader, what's on your mind? Damn, I don't know how, but you convinced him to fight again. Lucimon said, slightly surprised. I don't like to tell you this, but good work. Izuku smiles. First of all, I need to know what's going on here, he said. Izuku and Toya leave the cave. Do you see that tower over there? Toya said to Izuku while subtly pointing at the black obelisk. Yeah, what's up with that? Izuku asked. That's a dark tower. I don't know how they work, but they prevent the natural digivolution of Digimon, leaving them permanently in the rookie stage. The only thing that can ignore that power are the Digimentals, but as you can see we don't have any, Toya said. So that's why we can't change forms, Izuku said. No, our thing is something else. I was here before they started putting those things in, even so I was restricted to my Lucimon form, Toya said. I see, Izuku said. Even so, I think the plan is obvious: destroy the Dark Tower so everyone can digivolve. It's obvious, but impossible. None of us have the firepower to destroy one of those, Toya said. Izuku thinks. And why are the guards in stages stronger than Rookie? I don't know, but something definitely makes them immune to the effect. Probably it has to do with them being Matadorman troops, Toya said. Matadorman? Izuku asked. Right. You don't know about them, Toya said. Those who started the war, the 6 Digimon generals of Kishib, Malomyotismon, the leader, Neptunemon, Wedenmon, Urukenamon and Mummymon, known to us, and the one who defeated us, Matadorman. Matadorman, but if he is ultimate level, how could he defeat you? Izuku asked. We thought the same, until we saw that he was carrying a sword. That sword had a very strong resemblance to demon, just like in your report about the Lucimon sword, Toya said. The demon lords, swords, just like the Lucimon we found. They've finished them and they're controlled, Izuku said. It's giving them power comparable to that of a demon lord. Yeah, that's what I thought, Toya said. And there are 6 of them. 6. Wait, 6. There are 7 demon lords, Izuku said. Then there must be one more we don't know about, Toya said. Exactly, Izuku said. And Matadorman is here. He comes from time to time, but not all the time. This is his territory after all, Toya said. After our defeat, the 6 of them divided the digital world, each with a designated territory which they can control at will. I see. The important thing is to get out of here as soon as possible and find a hiding place, Izuku said. There's a hidden resistance base. They haven't been able to find it. If there's still anyone left, they'll be there, Agumon said. Okay, we're on course. Now we just need to figure out how to destroy the Dark Tower, Izuku said, right at that moment. Digital hazard, someone shouted. Get away. In one of the mines a red liquid began to come out. It began to shine. Get down, Toya said while tackling Izuku to the ground. That liquid begins to shine more intensely and then explodes violently, creating a crack of several meters in the wall. What the hell was that? Izuku asked. Digital hazard, one of the most dangerous elements, if not the most dangerous, in the digital world. You just saw it in its purest and most unstable state. It has to be extracted with extreme care and stored in the appropriate containers which are marked and taken to the special refinery, Toya said. Where the transport that takes the digital hazard passes through, Izuku said. They go around the Dark Tower through special paths, Toya said. Izuku looks at the destruction caused by the digital hazard and then looks at the tower. I think we have our firepower, Izuku said. Nightfall, Izuku meets with several Digimon and Toya in one of the caves. Okay, here's the plan. We'll need digital hazard. We have to gather enough in one of those transport carts. Someone has to take them to the Dark Tower. Once there, boom, Izuku explained while using a stone to draw the plan on the ground. The tower is destroyed and everyone can digivolve. We cause chaos and escape. We go to the resistance base that Agumon mentioned. It sounds like a plan, a very crazy and risky one, but worse is nothing, Toya said. How much of digital hazard we will need? Agumon asked. A lot. I don't want to risk it not being enough, Izuku said. It's difficult to find digital hazard, but we'll do what we can, Terriermon said. We only get one chance, so we won't do it until we have enough, Izuku said. If we fail, it's all over. No pressure, Toya said. It's okay, we'll make it. We've overcome tougher situations. I mean, we've died and that didn't stop us. All right, everyone's on board with the plan, Izuku asked, everyone nodding. All right, let's roll. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now we will see you in the next video.